What's up, THL, and welcome to this week's episode of SHL Sunday Night Ticket. This week is the SHL Finals, and we will be bringing you the three remaining SHL Finals matches tonight. I am Markshire, and I am joined tonight by Force of Will.
Oh, hello, everybody. I'm excited. This is it. This is the end of the SHL season. Before the end of tonight, we will have a champion.
Yep, and tonight we have got the Kowalski Ninjas Rule facing off against the Doghouse. And Kowalski Ninjas Rule is already up 8-2 in the series against the Doghouse. They won both of their first matches 3-1. So the match could be over in this first series here, but we'll have to see. Hopefully it goes all the way till the end, but anything could happen.
It's like, yes, I've sort of been running the numbers. There's an outside chance it could potentially be a tie if one of them goes 2-3 and then the other two win their matches by sweeps. But in that case, then it still goes to tiebreakers, which still means Kawasaki Ninja Rule would win. And even if the Doghouse wins every one of the matches 3-2, it will put them at a 14-14 tie. And in that case, the Doghouse would win the tiebreaker. So this is it. It's like basically if Kawasaki Ninja Rule wins one match, it's over. They will win the series. We'll still play out all the matches, of course, because we want to bring those matches to you. But yeah, Doghouse has to win out every single match from this point on.
Yep, yeah, it's really nice for Kowalski Ninja's Rule to have that lead heading into the series. It's always nice to know that you have that cushion. And on the other hand, for the Doghouse, they know they've got a hole that they have to dig themselves out of tonight. So let's see if we can do it. Tonight, just looking at the lineups of these players, the bans are in. We know that Creep has banned Delcavere's Shaman, and Delcavere has banned Creep's Druid.
So if I'm guessing with that Shaman ban, I mean, could we be looking at an aggro lineup, like, say, Token Druid, Secret Mage, Token Shaman? I guess you can't play Druid, but Secret Mage, Token Shaman, Pirate Warrior? If you're banning out of that Shaman?
I think very possible. Shaman is a pretty popular ban for that very reason. And then on the other side of the coin, I think Delcavere's Druid ban can probably signify some slower decks. So maybe he's running with a Control Paladin or possibly a Taunt Warrior, both of which are very weak to Jade Druid.
And the last 2 weeks, we've seen that Delcavere does like playing somewhat slow decks. As with D-Lineman last week, I believe last week's match was an hour or something. And counting for, yes, we had an interruption in the middle where we had extreme issues. But then overall, it's like, so I think, Delcavere is probably where he wants to be. Creep is where he wants to be. So it's going to be very interesting. Do you think the series ends right here?
I would guess that it doesn't end right here. If you look at the records of these players, Creep, I believe he is 6-2 on the season, and he's also one of the few people in SHL to have 500 PR. Just looking at the PRs, he is around a 77-point favorite over Delcavere. So I think Creep is more than capable of taking this particular match and keeping Doghouse alive.
All right, so looks like they are in the match. So, guess we're waiting for an invite. Let's see. Let's try this again.
Yeah, that might take a while for us to get into the spectate, but yeah, we do know that these players have started.
Oh, there we go. All right. So let's see. Let me bring you up Creep first, and Creep is opening with his Warrior against Delcavere's Druid.
Yep, and in Creep's hand, we can see what looks to be a typical Pirate Warrior opening, but he mulligans away the Black Knight. That's a card that's really not seen in Pirate Warrior too often. It can be good tech if you are predicting to go against Taunt Warrior, or can also be pretty good against Jade Druid, hitting cards like Jade Behemoth. So really interesting piece of tech there from Creep.
It is. It's like, I think he's well within reason thinking that Delcavere probably is bringing Taunt Warrior. Probably also the reason he left it up and went and banned the Shaman. But So let's see. For Duckaway here, it looks like just sort of standard J Druid.
Yeah, nothing out of the ordinary right now. Looking at Delcavere's hand, Nizostra's Mate is pretty difficult to deal with. If he wants to, he could use his coin and either Wrath for 1 or Hero Power down one of these 1/1s. But I think he might want to save that coin and Innervate for a bigger swing turn later in the game.
Well, especially if, let's say Creep's dropping the Blitzel Raider. Now he has a good reason to Innervate, swipe, and just clear this board out.
Yeah. So Delcavere, he does have the option, like you said, to just Innervate, swipe, and clear this off. If he does that, then he doesn't have much in the way of minions to play on the following turns, though. The only minion he has in his hand right now is just the Jade Behemoth, which costs 6 mana. So unless Delcavere picks up another Innervate or a Wild Growth, it'll be a long time before he can clear, or before he can get that minion on the board.
It looks like Duckworth can go the Wrath and just clear the big minion, clear out the Bloodsail Raider, and leave out the 2 1/1s at this point. So for Creep, it looks like he's probably just gonna go face. I wouldn't be surprised to see a Fiery War Axe upgrade after he swings here for his last. Oh, actually,
just. Fiery War Axe and upgrading isn't bad. I think Creep has to be sort of cognizant of Gluttonous Ooze. It's a pretty common tech choice in J Druid right now, and in THL we're more likely to see those tech choices that maybe you don't see more often on ladder because players know ahead of time what classes their opponent is bringing. So Creep is just going to take sort of a more passive route, just play the Nizostra's Fate and Hero Power.
All right, so for Duckaware here, now he does have the option to coin out the swipe now if he so desires. And that would still leave the Innervate to possibly Innervate out the Jade Behemoth next turn. Oh, actually, it looks like he's going coin, Innervate, and the Jade Behemoth right now.
I think this makes a lot of sense. Your opponent has to put resources into dealing with this 3/6 taunt, and then you can follow it up with the Fandral next turn. It's sort of scary to leave all these 1/1s on the board, though. It would be weak to something like South Sea Captain, but I think Delcavere has the read that Creep doesn't have that in hand.
All right. So it looks like he is going to use the Heroic Strike to put 5 in and just push 1 each. And is he going to trade? Yeah, he's going to trade in the Enzel's First Mate to clear this trade. Well, hello, Delcavere did get the Galactic Crawler here, so he can clear this out and get himself a 3/4 right now if he would like.
Yeah, Delcavere clearly expecting Pirate Warrior by putting this Galactic Crawler in his lineup. And even though he's only eating a 1/1 here, I think it's absolutely the right play just to play that Galactic down and then Hero Power face. It's just a huge swing for him.
I was saying, and I mean, we see Creep's hand. We know he has an answer in the Corcoran Elite, but if he's having, well, actually, no, he still has the answer also because he has the upgrade, so he can upgrade and just use his face to clear this Galactic Crawler. But, I mean, still, though, it clears the board for what's there right now. Actually, it looks like he's going Fandral. Okay.
That's interesting. I'm not sure if Delcavere, I mean, it is Pirate Warrior, but in the next couple turns, it's not really guaranteed that your opponent is going to have another Pirate. In fact, I mean, Creep could have just had a hand full of burn, and then that Galactic Crawler never gets any value. But he'll get rewarded here for holding on to it because now he can eat the Bloodsail Cultist.
Yeah, he can. Now, the issue is, unfortunately for him, or for Crip, or for Delcavere right now, is he has 15 points of damage on the axe, 1 point from Patches the Pirate, and is holding Corcoran Elite. So he can finish this game out pretty quickly here if he so desires.
Yeah, definitely can. We don't see any weapon tech in Delcavere's hands, so this Fiery War Axe is definitely a force to be reckoned with. But I think Delcavere has a hand, even though this hand does look sort of awkward now. I think he has the hand to deal with that with the 2 Earthen Scales. That's going to give him quite a bit of healing, and he can combo them with a Gadgeton possibly to draw into even more healing or more taunts.
All right, so, well, Creep just did pull a free Dread Corsair. So I wouldn't be surprised to see both these come down right now, and it'll probably I can't imagine he'll probably use his face to clear this Galactic Crawler and then just push 4 to the face with the Corcoran Elite, which he does do here.
Oh wow, Delcavere's running the Curator, so
that means we can at least expect a Primordial Drake at the very least here, and probably something else. But it looks like this turn he's wanting to go with the swipe. He will clear out the Corcoran Elite, but the Dread Corsair is going to stick around for now.
Yeah, I'm wondering what else Delcavere could be running with this Curator. Could just be Primordial Drake and Galactic Crawler, because drawing Primordial Drake alone off of Curator is extremely powerful just because of how important getting that AoE clear is against aggressive decks.
Well, for Delcavere's next turn, it looks like he has to drop the taunt here. He has to drop the Curator, or there is lethal on board at this very moment.
Yeah. He could also, let's see, if he goes Gadgeson and Earthen Scales, he'd heal up to 12. And that would let him survive another turn, assuming that Creep does not top deck 2 damage. I think Delcavere probably just has to play it safe and go with the Curator here, and then next turn he can maybe Jade Spirit and drop those 2 Earthen Scales.
Or he could okay, so he only does pull the Primordial Drake, so that means Delcavere is only running 1 Galactic Crawler in this deck because it would have pulled the second one. But well,
right, and it means he's not running any Murlocs like Corrupted Seer.
So with Creep here, he does have the South Sea Captain. Now, using his face and the deckhand, he can get through the Curator here if he does this.
Yeah, he can get through the Curator and still have the Captain and the Dread Corsair on the board. That is his last weapon charge, though, so judging by this heal that's about to come down, Creep's going to need to top deck some damage if he wants to win this game.
All right, so from what I see here now, Delcavere has 2 options because he just did get Eye of Black Paw. So he can do Aya, Earn the Scales. That will give him a total of 13 armor, if my number is correct there. So that'll move him up to 16 health. And that probably would be enough to stabilize this game at this point. He could also just drop the Primordial Drake and say, get through this too.
Right. Yeah, if he drops Primordial Drake, he would only lose 2 Mortal Strike off the top, I think.
Right. But it looks like he's actually... Looks like he can go this route. I mean, he will gain 11 armor this way, and he will draw 2 cards.
Yeah, I mean, he does, you're right, he does get 11 armor. He also has the possibility of picking up a card like Innervate that would give him
more draws.
Another draw, possibly let him get a hero power in.
Now, with the Fiery War Axe, Creep can put 10 in and move him back down to 4 if he wants. But I guess the real question is, can you let this Gadget and Auctioneer sit on the table?
Yeah,
I don't think you can. It's like if
I don't know. I think Creep's only chance to win might just be going face here, because if he kills the Auctioneer, then the Primordial Drake is going to come down, and Creep won't have the damage to ever get through that taunt. So I think he's recognizing his only line to win is just by going face here and then hoping that he top decks the Reach. Maybe it would have to be a Mortal Strike at this point, I think.
So at this point for Delcavere, is he just going to... I would think he just wants to cycle and try to find a Feral Spirit, correct? Try to gain 8 more armor, and he'll be able to kill the Dread Corsair here pretty easily.
Yeah, it's a tough decision for sure. I think given that he has the Jade Behemoth, maybe he will want to just... Well, actually, Delcavere can go for the Jade Behemoth here and get the hero power in, and that would mean that he doesn't die to a Mortal Strike top deck, although he would be dead to Leroy that way.
All right, so it looks like Delcavere is going to start with the Jade Blossom here. Get him up to a 2/2, but we'll get a draw. And there it is, just right off the top, Feral Spirit. Or Feral Rage, sorry, Feral Rage. So he'll be able to gain 8 armor. And then, actually, he does pick up the swipe as well for whatever comes after this. So I believe, is there any route where Creep can win the game from this turn? I don't think there is. But unless he can Spellbreaker the Gadget and Auctioneer at the very least.
Yeah, that's true. That Spellbreaker could come down this turn. Creep, I think Creep is gonna save it though in case of a taunt. That means that Leroy and Corcoran could possibly win him the game down the line.
All right, so Duckware has a couple ways he could clear this. He could use the swipe, or he could just do the Primordial Drake, which would put a 4/8 in the way. And then Hero Power, and that'll move him back up to 11.
Yep. Yeah, I see no reason for the Primordial Drake to not come down. And now, I mean, Creep does have the Spellbreaker here, but he has not picked up any more damage to finish the game out. And using that Spellbreaker now Delcaver can just play down either of his other 2 taunts.
Yeah, I was like, he'll be able to toss another taunt in the way of this. And I seriously doubt that Creep's running 2 Spellbreakers. I think the normal list runs 1, but not 2.
Yeah, Spellbreaker is pretty much only run as a one-off. We did see the Black Knight in Creep's deck.
Oh, that is true.
So that could potentially deal with the Jade Behemoth or a Primordial Drake. But that's really the only chance Creep has of getting through this extra time.
Well, it looks like Delcaver is going to get the most damage off the board by killing the Spellbreaker. And then it looks like he's hovering over the Jade Behemoth right now.
Yeah, and the Jade Behemoth here, it could let him get another point of armor in by letting him Hero Power and Wild Growth in the same turn.
Oh, okay. And Delcaver did something I think is really smart here. He went and played the Wild Growth, but he is not playing the card yet because he does have Gadget and Auctioneer in hand, so that will mean 2 draws off of it instead of 1 the next turn.
Yep. Yeah, heads up play from Delcaver there. Creep, all he can do is just play his minion and pass. He still doesn't have a way to get through this taunt. And Delcaver is gaining more armor every turn.
Yeah, it's like I think this is I think the outs for Creep are running out very, very quickly here. I don't see exactly how he could get out now. He's going to do the excess mana now, and he will draw 2 cards off of this, one for Gadgetzan and one for the excess mana. He's going to swipe. That will kill the Frothing Berserker, and then he could even put the Jade Golem into it and then push 7 to the face. And that'll put him at 15. That South Sea deckhand is doing nothing at this point. And he realizes that, and Creep will give up the match here, or give up the game.
Yeah, so, I mean, if you just look at the cards for both of these players, Delcaver only had 6 cards in his deck compared to Creep's 13. That just shows you the draw power that Jade Druid can have with Gadgets and Auctioneer. Delcaver was able to draw almost his entire deck, and he drew into 3 out of his 4 healing cards, and I think all of his taunts in that game.
All right, so now that Creep's Warrior is down, the Druid is already banned. Where do you go next against this Jade Druid? You have Mage and Shaman left. Again, I'm assuming this is Secret Mage, so I'm Secret Mage versus Jade Druid. Which do you think is better? Well, actually, I guess we get the answer.
Secret Mage, it really just depends on the tech choices from both players. I think I would maybe give Secret Mage a slight edge, but I think it's very close. We do see Creep queue up the Shaman instead, however. And looking at this mulligan here, seeing both of the Bloodsail Corsairs, it seems like a safe assumption that this is just the standard token Evolved Shaman.
Yep. And he does get the Bloodlust in hand as well as the Maelstrom Portal. Fortunately, that Maelstrom Portal, except unless he plays the turn 1, it's probably not going to get a lot of value out of this. But let's see. Creep, of course, Delcaver is just passing turn here. Creep's going to go ahead and play the Firefly now. Now, since you know this deck has no weapons, are you better off just getting 2 things on the battlefield and playing... Oh, actually, he's going to do it anyway. So,
Yeah,
Uh,
I'm wondering if it would be better for Creep to play the Bloodsail Corsair instead, just to get that extra 1/1 for patches on the board. Like you said, you're never getting any value out of the Battle Cry from the Corsair, so I can only assume that Creep is holding the Bloodsail to get value out of Flame Tongue later in the game. If he can pull patches and combine it with Flame Tongue to get a 3/1 charger.
all right, so Dokkaeber, I believe last turn he only put up a mana ramp. So this time he's going to use his Innervate to go ahead and get the Jade Behemoth out on turn 3. Well,
Yep.
actually,
Wow.
well,
And the Flame Tongue does come into hand for Creep. That's a really huge pickup because now he can completely clear off the board if he wants to.
it looks like right now he's just going to go with the Maelstrom Portal. I think he wants to have the mana to play both the Flame Tongue and the Blood Cell Corsair in the same turn, so that way he can get his patches value out of this.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. This is a play that's really weak if Delcavear had a swipe in hand, but we don't see any sort of board clear from him right now. That Galaka Crawler doesn't even do anything because Creep has not played his Bloodsail Corsair yet. So Delcavear is going to be forced to either play that out just as a tempo 2/3 or hold it and not develop it.
It looks like he's going to go ahead and play it. Only a slight punish here, as chances are next turn he will be the Bloodsail Corsair will probably be coming out, and patches as well. Now, I guess the real question is, with everything at 2 health, do you take the chance to Hero Power, see if you can get Spell Power Totem, and then clear out here?
Yeah, that's definitely a possible play from Creep. He isn't going to go for the Hero Power or the Flame Tongue, actually, and he's just going to Stonehill. So Creep is just getting really greedy with his Flame Tongue here.
All right. It looks like Creep's going to go ahead and choose the Sunwalker here, give a little bit of taunt for this. Now, he is actually, looks like he wants to play the Bloodsail Corsair now, but it's like, yeah. So, I mean, the board is protected at least by the Stonehill Defender here, for the time being at least. But
right, Delcavear would have to have Innervate Primordial Drake if he wanted to clear off this board, but we can see that he doesn't have it. So all these minions are going to stick for next turn. Delcavear can clear off the Stonehill and he can clear off one other minion with the Wrath, but that's all that he can do unless he maybe picks up Swipe off of the Wrath here.
Let's see. Well, it looks like he's going to do 3 damage to it and use his face to clear out the Stonehill. So now actually it does allow him to take care of 2 other minions at this point. With this.
When Jade Druid's in this position where it has so few cards in hand, it usually makes a lot of sense to cycle Wrath, but I can understand just using it for 3 damage in this position when you already have the Curator into Primordial Drake next turn.
Well, Creep, he drew Sea Giant for the tournament. I think this is a relatively new inclusion in Token Druid, or Token Shaman, I should say. I mean, it is an 8/8 that can potentially, especially if you're in the mirror match, could potentially just be free.
Yeah, no, Sea Giant can be a really powerful card. Like you said, it is a pretty new inclusion. I think that people are cutting Doppelgangster sometimes for it.
So, all right. So, Dokkaeber looks like he's going to play a Curator. He'll get his other because as the Galaka Crawler is already on the battlefield. He is setting up next turn, I believe. It'll be a mostly clear. I don't think it'll be a complete clear, but it will be a mostly clear for this here. But it looks like actually he's wanting to Hero Power and then go ahead and use the totem, and it looks like he's also wanting to go ahead and use this Maelstrom Portal now.
Yeah, I think it's really important for Creep to go ahead and go for this Flame Tongue plus Maelstrom Portal play. He can't really afford to take any damage on his Sea Giant and make it weak to Primordial Drake because he knows that Delcavear already has at least 1 Primordial Drake in hand.
All right, so Delcavear is going to drop this. He'll clear everything except the Flame Tongue and the Sea Giant here. Creep did pick up Eye of Blackpaw here. The Jades are only 2/2, but it's still a 7 power coming out. So yeah, he's gonna go ahead and do this now, and we'll get the 5/3 and the 4/2. He doesn't know that Delcavere has the second Primordial Drake, so even this he'll be somewhat able to clear.
Yeah, this second Primordial Drake is huge for Delcavere. I think that he feels pretty good about just playing the second one this turn.
I mean, I'll say even if he wants to finish off Aya, he could. He's going to do this beforehand. So it looks like he's going to cycle and then use the Innervate to play this and probably play the Jade Idol at the.
Yeah, this gets the most damage off the board. It completely empties his hand, but that's not too bad against a token deck like Shaman.
No, it is definitely not. I was saying he has not played a Nourish yet, so we still know there are at least 2 Nourishes in the deck. So he will be able to refill whenever he finds one. Here. Well,
wow, another interesting piece of tech from Delcavere, the Mind Control tech.
Unfortunately, he can't get any value off of it right now, but he's not too far from being able to get, especially once the thing from below comes down.
Yeah, I think he wants to hold on to that. I mean, Shaman is very likely, especially Token Shaman, it's very likely that they have at least 4 minions on the board. So maybe Delcavere can just hero power and clear off the Sunwalker here.
Yeah, it's I'm thinking that probably be the best route is, you'll have to use your face either way, but use your face to break the bubble and then use your other 2 minions to get through it. Because chances are two creatures are coming down next turn.
Yeah, definitely a reasonable assumption for Delcavere to make.
All right, so for Creep here, he picked up the second Flame Tongue Totem. Now, the single Flame Tongue Totem can clear out what remains of the Primordial Drake if he wants. It looks like he's probably going to go that route. I would assume the Jade Golem is going into it.
Yep, and I expect Creep to just play out the rest of his hand. I don't think that Mind Control tech is on his mind right now.
I don't think so either. It's he already has enough to take it. I don't see why you wouldn't go ahead and play out the Blood Corsair as well.
Yeah, I mean, it sets up for lethal. He even has the Bloodlust in hand for good measure.
Well, speaking of Nourish, he does get the Nourish here, so he's going to draw 3 cards. I think he needs a swipe, if I'm not mistaken. And even then, I don't know if it saves him.
Yeah, Mind Control is going to come down.
Oh, and it shows
the thing from below.
Yeah, it shows the absolute worst of the 5 there. Well, not the worst of the 5. I guess the worst of the 5 would technically be the Healing Totem. But this should be Bloodlust in game, and so
pretty easy lethal. And I really like what Creep is doing here. He's just going to use his Jade Claws to finish off his opponent rather than use the Bloodlust. Even though Delcavere is probably knows that Creep is running Bloodlust in his deck, there might be that chance that he doesn't. Maybe Delcavere thinks that Creep has cut a Bloodlust for Sea Giant, possibly. So he removes a little bit of information.
Okay, so with Creep winning with the Shaman, the Druid is now down. You are left with Paladin and Warrior. I'm thinking you go the Paladin here because if you're, I guess Taunt Warrior is the thing in question here. But it looks like Delcavere is going with the Paladin here. And this looks, Delcavere's got all his top end right now. So I'm not certain if this is mid-range Murloc Paladin, if it's mid-range Paladin, Control Paladin. We'll have to see some more cards to figure that out. But for Creep, he actually has an excellent starting hand here.
Yeah, Delcavere, we can see that he's running 2 Primordial Drakes. I would think that definitely indicates Control Paladin, even though Control Paladin usually only runs 1.
Okay, so for Delcavere here, he's just going to go ahead and pass turn. And yeah, now we definitely know what the Doomsayer out there as well. Kurt's going to go ahead and throw out the Primal Fin Totem, get the 1/1 Murloc to go behind it. Delcavere here, I would be shocked if he doesn't drop this Doomsayer. And he is going to.
Yeah, really nice spot to drop a Doomsayer. He he doesn't even get punished by anything really because Flame Tongue wouldn't have been able to clear it. So the Doomsayer is going to go off and take 2 of Creep's cards with it.
And actually, Duckweir just picked up a very nice turn 3 play and Wicker Flame Burn Bristle as well. So he's going to play Wicker Flame past turn. I wouldn't be surprised to see Creep here throw down the second Primal Fin and maybe... you could probably play one of your 2 Blitz Corsairs. I probably wouldn't play both of them.
Maybe he can just go Primal Fin and Maelstrom Portal here to take this Divine Shield off. He might want to be saving that Bloodsail Corsair for a better turn to play Patches and also to take off durability.
It looks like he's actually just going to Hero Power here. So he's gonna let the shield stay on for the moment. That being said, I think Duckweir probably wants to play the True Silver here and just clear out the Primal Fin Totem while he can.
Yeah, it definitely seems pretty straightforward. You can just clear 2 of these minions off the board easily.
I mean, unbeknownst to him, he is playing into the Bloodsail Corsairs that are in Creep's hand, but it's like...
Yeah, it's still fine. I mean, I think he still has to make the play. But it is nice for Creep because he's going to be able to Bloodsail, and he played that turn extremely quickly. He's going to be able to get the clear on the Wicker Flame here.
And so actually, he's not even going to lose anything of his board because he did pick up the Jade Claws here. So his entire board will get to stay here. Now, of course, his whole board is weak to Consecration, so I wouldn't be shocked to see this Consecration come down right now. And it does. So that will clear the board for the second time for Duckweir. Flame Tongue Totem, but not a whole lot to do with it at the moment.
Yeah, looks like Creep doesn't care about hitting another weapon off the second Bloodsail. He's just going to play the 1-2 out to try to get something on the board because he's really just running out of cards here. He needs some minions to stick so he can Flame Tongue next turn and possibly get back into this game.
It's like, I imagine Duckweir is wanting to probably save that coin for next turn and then he can coin out one of the Primordial Drakes. So I'm thinking possibly like a Rallying Blade and maybe even Eater of Secrets because you're not going to see a secret against this deck. But the Mage is still pending. So if he does decide to play it out, he is giving up a little bit of information against the last deck that Crip has.
Yeah, like I would say that getting the 2-4 down against this board is pretty good. But I agree with you. I think Duckweir just wants to save the Eater of Secrets and not reveal that information to his opponent.
All right, so he is going to play and then just Hero Power here. Be pretty clean board. Actually, this is a chance he could use the Maelstrom Portal. Now, I guess Crip's thinking that the Primordial Drake turn is a turn away or 2 turns away at least right now. But if he plays out his hand, he's going to get punished here. Yep.
Yeah, and I think that this is Creep's only chance to win this game is the possibility of this board sticking. But as we can see, Primordial Drake is just going to clear everything off.
I say, Creep will be left with just a Flame Tongue Totem, which is not going to do a whole lot here. And he draws the Bloodlust with no creatures on the field. That's just rough.
1 turn too late for Creep.
All right, so Creep's going to just Hero Power here, and then... Let's see. For Duckweir, he has several options here. Of course, he has Tyrion. Tyrion seems like the most obvious choice here.
Yeah, I mean,
6/6 Divine Shield.
Duckweir can just really play whatever he wants at this point. I don't think the Shaman has any way to come back.
Well, Duckweir did pick up the Devolve, so he can at least devolve this board, but it probably will not be much better. And that's a Prophet Valen and a 5/6. So... he actually put more power on, and Crip's going to go ahead and give this up. Devolving into Valen and the 5/6 there is not going to be anything worth helping out. So I believe that means that he is now down to his Mage.
Yep, Creep is going to have to win the next 2 games with his Mage if he wants to win this series and keep Doghouse in contention for a title.
Correct, yes.
So, again, we don't really know what Mage it is right now. I don't think we saw any healing from Delcavir in that game, but I think it's a safe assumption that he's running a Rag Light Lord and probably a Forbidden Healing.
Okay, if my deck tracker is right, we're about to see something. Let's open the Waygate. So we have we have an open the Waygate deck here. Now I'll be honest, I don't know if this is the. He has Archmage Antonidas, so this could be Exodia. But
that's crazy. I guess this might be one of the matchups where Exodia Mage can actually win.
So, all right. So he's going to go ahead and play the quest turn 1. Delcavir passed turn 1, but he is going to be able to play the Hydrologist on turn 1 with an option for. It looks like you want to go for the Eye for an Eye, which is not terrible because Ice Block. You just saw a open the Waygate. This is probably closer to a Freeze Mage than anything else.
Yeah, Eye for an Eye is generally a good pick against Mage. We see the Curator in Creep's hand, and I think that might just be there to pull Alexstrasza from his deck. I know that I've seen some lists that are just a standard Freeze Mage and are then just running the Curator to guarantee that they have that Alexstrasza draw. But it'll be interesting if he's running any Beasts or Murlocs in addition to that. I would doubt so, though.
All right, so it looks like Delcavir got the best thing you could get off of Stonehill Defender, which is Tyrion Fordring. So it looks like here Crep's just going to play the Ice Block and then just put a little poke into the Stonehill Defender here. Delcavir, let's see, looking at Delcavir, he has a couple options here. He has the board advantage right now, so I can't imagine Doomsayer is what he wants to use. He does have Consecration. He could Consecration this board and then push 3 to the face. So, and chances are, since you saw open the Waygate, you're probably not going to get much better boards to do this on.
Yeah, I don't really see an issue with Consecration here, just because he doesn't have anything else to spend his mana on, and it would at least protect his Stonehill Defender from dying. He also might think this is Counterspell and want to play that Eye for an Eye first to check for that, but he is just going to go ahead and Consecrate and clear off the 2/2.
Okay, so now it's definitely Exodia Mage because now we have the Molten Reflection here. Without a doubt, now we know this is going to be Exodia. So Crip's going to be looking to combo him out with 4, I believe it's 4 Sorcerer's Apprentice. Using Molten Reflection to copy 2 of them, and then use Archmage Antonidas to create the first fireball, and then just get free fireballs until Delcavir is dead.
Now, I wonder if Delcavir is running Dirty Rat in his list. We didn't see it last game, but Dirty Rat is not an uncommon inclusion in Control Paladin. And if Delcavir were to draw that and then pull one of these Sorcerer's Apprentices or the Archmage Antonidas, it could be game-changing for him.
It could be. I don't think we saw most of Delcavir's deck, but I can't imagine Delcavir is going to try to save his board here. He's probably just going to push 2 to the face and probably call it a day at that point. Oh, actually,
he can Sunkeeper Terror him if he wants to maintain the board.
Yeah, he can actually. Yeah. So, and then
I think this is fine. Like it's really important for Delcavir to keep up the pressure on the Quest Mage. If he never pressures at all, the Quest Mage is just gonna draw their entire deck and win.
There's Makula, there's Alexstrasza, and there's Cold Light Oracle. So he actually got all 3 cards off of Curator with Makula, which is I think I've seen a couple lists running it, but it is an oddball inclusion in this. And then, of course, Alexstrasza and Cold Light Oracle to draw more cards.
Yeah, so I can understand the Cold Light Oracle because draw is so important in this deck, but I don't really know what the Mukla is doing. I guess it fills the hand of your opponent. So I guess this is sort of a Quest Mage plus mill. I guess in conjunction with Cold Light Oracle, it could possibly mill your opponent.
Actually, this is Makula Tyrant of the Veil, so you actually get the bananas, not your opponent.
Oh, that's true. Wait, so what do the bananas do in this deck?
I'm assuming pump something up to, okay, I know what it is. 2 bananas, those are spells that do not start in your deck. It gives you 2 additional.
That's true.
It gives you 2 additional spells that you can cast. So Delcavir actually is looking to go Wild Pyromancer here, and then use Consecration. That will clear the board and we'll keep a 3/6 on the board for him as well. I think this is probably the turns where we should start seeing Crep, Frost Nova, Doomsayer. Actually, it already uses Doomsayer, so that's not an option. He does have Shimmering Tempest here. It looks like he's hovering over like he wants to play it. Now,
yeah, it's definitely a lot of options for Creep here. Maybe he just wants to go ahead and play the Mukla and get that 5/5 body out. It seems like too weak of a board to want to freeze.
Let's say, well, he has now 9 cards in hand. If he played that beforehand, he would have. If we played Mukla, he would only get 1.
That's true. So it looks like he does just want to hold off on that, and he can play the Frost Nova here. He is at 12 health already. For a deck that doesn't put on a lot of pressure like Control Paladin, it's not a great place to be in.
No, it is not. Delclair just did draw his Eater of Secrets. I guess the question is, do you want to do it now or do you want to do it when you have lethal just to surprise him? It looks like
I think he probably wants to save the Eater for when he definitely has lethal. He held that information back from his opponent last game, so I think he's going to want to do it now as well.
So, all right. So for he is going to play Tyrion Forging here. Crip's going to go ahead and actually gets a second Molten Reflection off of this too. So
that's a card that he doesn't have to draw from his deck to complete the Exodia combo, though.
No, it is not. So he has 1 Sorcerer's Apprentice. Let's see. He is going to go ahead and Primordial Glyph. Well, there's a Blizzard. That's not the worst thing.
That's great. That's another freeze effect. That's exactly what Creep needs.
All right, so he's going to go ahead and freeze this board with his original Blizzard. Pay the full 6 price since he didn't have anything else to do with his mana anyway, and then pass the turn here.
I guess, does Delcaver just play out another Tyrion this turn? He doesn't really have anything else that he can do.
I think it seems reasonable. I would not hate that play.
He could also play Ivory Knight, and he wouldn't get any heal from it, but I wonder if he's realized yet that Creep is running the Exodia combo. So, of course, heal doesn't matter. His life total is completely irrelevant because the mage is ending to kill him from 30 health.
Yeah, it's very interesting. It's like I could definitely see the Ivory Knight. He could also think that he might have Flame Strike in hand, and so that would just be full clear. If Flame Strike would clear everything off the board. So I can definitely see also just dropping the second Tyrion at this point and just be like, all right, deal with this one too.
Yeah, I think it would be fine. He could also... Wait, he's playing the Doomsayer out here?
Whoa.
Clearing off his own board. That doesn't seem correct to me.
No, it does not. No, definitely not. Yeah, it's like, right now he doesn't even have to use an effect. I mean, literally, if he wanted to, he could just... ping face. Well, he has 10 cards in hand. He has to play something. But, he could basically just ping face and be like, all right, pass. Your board is gone.
So now, what the Doomsayer does is it does mean that the Tyrion is guaranteed to die off, and he'll get that 5/3 Ashbringer to start swinging at Creep's face. So I think that's what he was going for with the Doomsayer line.
I'm gonna say, and the problem is for Crip right now, like all the cards in his hand, he doesn't really want to play any of them. It's like, I mean, yeah, he can play Alex Straza, and get himself back up to 15, but that's giving up Alex Straza.
I don't hate the Alex Straza there. I also think Creep could have considered using Alex Straza offensively and then just trying to end the game with Antonitis, but it would be hard for him to put together the burn. So it's probably right to just play it safe.
I'll say, well, the one thing he does set up now is one, Delcaver could go ahead and play the second Tyrion if he would like. Point 2 is also, as of right now, Crip doesn't actually have any free, like a Frostbolt to put into Delcaver right now. So in 2 turns, well, in 2 turns it will pop the block at least. But
yeah, or with that Eater of Secrets, it's just going to be lethal in 2 turns.
It's going to be lethal. That
if Delcaver can connect to the face twice.
So I'm trying to think of what lines that Crip has here. It's like, I mean, I guess theoretically, if he draws the second Molten Reflection, or the second from the deck. Well, that's Ice Barrier. That does help, but
Yeah, and his quest is only at 1 right now.
right.
And I believe he only has Blizzard in his hand right now. Blizzard, one of the Molten Reflections, and possible bananas from Mukla. That would be cards to pump up his quest.
So, I mean,
Barrier is a huge draw, though.
Barrier is a huge draw. I think he has to Barrier and use his Blizzard here. He can't let all that come onto the board right now.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And then, all right, so this will basically negate the second hit from Ashbringer here.
Yep, and I think that Dalcavera probably has a pretty good idea that is Ice Barrier, but he has to attack into it anyways. Paladin isn't really going to be able to deal 10 damage at first.
I mean, well, theoretically, he could play his Eater of Secrets now, and that would clear both of them and perk Crip at 5, and give him a 4/6.
Yeah, that would be a game-winning play if Creep doesn't have the second block in hand. And we can see that he does have the second block, but it might be good enough anyways.
As it was, I think, okay, he's going to take the Consecration here. I was going to say, I don't think he wants to Forbidden Healing, because by now he might have worked out this might be Exodia. He hasn't seen a Giant, hasn't seen anything else here.
Okay, and Dalcavera is just not going to attack, so I guess he's setting up to use Eater of Secrets next turn and just kill Creep off.
Correct. It's like, he's not going to know about the Blizzard in hand. And then also, we also need Mukula. He can use one of these. Okay, he has 9 cards in hand. So actually, next turn he will move the quest up to 3, 4. And he's still too short on the quest. Right now.
And Creep still needs to pick up either the second Molten Reflection or the second Sorcerer's Apprentice in his deck to even complete the Exodia combo. But he has the draws to get there. He still has Cold Light Oracle and Arcane Intellect, so it's looking pretty likely that Creep can pick up one of those cards in the next few turns. He just has to survive long enough.
I'm about to say, and honestly, as soon as he gets the Sorcerer's Apprentice or the other Molten Reflection, he might just be able to complete the combo anyway. Because as of right now, that would turn the bananas into 0s, turn the Molten Reflection into like a 1. Well, there's second Sorcerer's Apprentice. So
wait, but he can only play 3 cards that weren't in his deck this turn, right? Just the 2 bananas and the Molten Reflection?
Theoretically, but if he does it this way, he has a free Arcane Intellect in hand, so he might be able to draw the Primordial Glyph or something like that.
Oh, yeah. So maybe he just has to go for it here. Just drop the 2 Sorcerer's Apprentices, Arcane Intellect. Wait, will he have enough mana for double Molten Reflection, though, if he does that? Let's see.
Well, it'll be 2 and then 2. Then it'll make the Molten Reflection 2, so that'll make it 6. Make the next Molten Reflection 1, so it'll be 7. So you would have 3 mana left over, and all his spells currently in hand would be free.
Oh, he's going to go for it.
He is going to go for it here.
I don't know exactly what's in Creep's deck right now, but I believe a Primordial Glyph. That probably does it, but wait, does he have enough time? The rope's running out.
He's running out. He's gonna. There's Glyph.
Oh man,
and Babbling Book. Oh, it's gonna be close. It's the second Glyph. Oh my goodness, the clock is ticking. I don't know if he's gonna make this. If he doesn't make it, he loses.
I don't think he got it or not.
Oh.
Oh wait, he got it off.
He did get it off. Did he get enough time to cast it?
Oh my god, Creep's gonna win the game.
Oh my gosh, he does it. Wow, he must have been booking that.
That's crazy, especially with all the animation lag. Wow.
Oh my goodness. Oh wow, that will be game.
And they say that Hearthstone doesn't take technical skills.
It's like, no, it cannot, apparently. Oh my goodness. So this will be lethal. So Crip will make the series 2-2, and per Delcaver on his what's Delcaver's last deck?
Delcaver just has his Warrior left.
Taunt Warrior. Can Taunt Warrior? I mean, can Taunt Warrior be Exodia Mage? I mean, he does. Chances are he is running the Dirty Rat. So if he can get one of the keys out, he can actually win this.
Yeah, I think Dirty Rat is extremely key to that matchup. Also, if Delcaver, I mean, we don't know that it's Taunt Warrior for sure, but if he was able to get a good enough curve to get the quest online early, the Exodia combo ends up coming out pretty late, usually around turn 12 or 13 or even later. So it's possible he could get an early quest completion and just get enough damage in with the Rag Hero power to end the game.
All right, so that was an exciting conclusion of that match. It was like, because at least the way we're looking at animation wise is like, oh, he's not going to make it. He's not going to make it. He somehow ended up pulling it out.
I really didn't think he was going to do it, but I think that's just because I was lagging a little behind in the animations.
I must have been too. I thought it was like, there's no way he's going to actually make this. But all right, so Exodia Mage versus. Well, this is Pirate Warrior, so I don't think he's going to get the time to set up here. So Pirate Warrior against Exodia Mage. I would have to think the Pirate Warrior is favored here, right?
I would assume that Pirate Warrior is a pretty significant favorite. But this is a pretty solid hand for Creep here. He keeps the quest. I guess that's really the only way that he can win the game at all. But having access to the Doomsayer is very powerful.
It is, yeah. He'll be able to drop Doomsayer here on turn 2. Duckbear, of course, just can play South Sea Deckhand. And he does get the early Ice Block. Actually, he's not going to drop the Doomsayer. He's going to go ahead and just Hero Power here and take out the 2-1.
That's interesting.
It's very interesting because I think with the South Sea Captain here now it opens up the possibility that he will be able to clear this out, especially since Duckbear is holding the second South Sea Captain. So if he drops Doomsayer now, it's probably not going to be effective.
Yeah, Doomsayer would have been risky. Creep's going to opt for the Archaeologist instead, but he still isn't clearing the board at all. He's going to have to pick up something in the way of a Frost Nova if he wants to get back into this.
Well, there's combo piece 1 and combo piece 2. So problem is right now he's just not. I mean, if I'm Duckbear, I'm just dropping Corcoran Elite, just keep pushing face here. So that's
Duckbear is just setting up for lethal. And
yeah, it's like,
he has to top deck a Frost Nova just to survive. I mean, he can survive with Ice Block, but he's still not in a very winning position.
No, he's not. I mean, and he can also clear out patches if he would like with his hero power. But he's actually going to go with Shimmering Tempest here. But
this possibly gets him closer to completing the quest, but I don't even know if that can be on his mind right now.
I don't think he can. He's going to be popped at 1 here. He has the second Ice Block in hand, but he's still far away. And on top of that, Duckbear actually has the Arcanite Reaper in hand, as well as Mortal Strike. So as soon as the Ice Blocks are gone, this is game.
Yeah, it really looks like it. I mean, Creep, we know he has Alex Draws in his deck. He could use defensive Alex to gain some more health. He could also use Ice Barrier, but Pirate Warrior just has access to so much burst. It seems like it's going to be really hard for Creep to pull this one out.
Well, admittedly, he did pick up the Mirror Image, so he can Ice Block, Mirror Image, and maybe even consider the Doomsayer right here for this turn. But still, though, that's still not even close to enough. And even next turn, if he plays the Curator, then he's dead to the Mortal Strike in hand.
Yeah, I mean, even with Doomsayer, Ice Block, Mirror Image, Creep can still easily get through the taunts, clear the Doomsayer, and pop Creep's block.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing a way out of this one.
I'm not either. It's like, I mean, he would have to have a freeze effect and something to make sure that Duckbear can't swing his weapon. He's going to clear out one. He's going to clear out one of these. That's not helpful. So, well, I guess it will stop for one additional turn, but
and Duckbear doesn't even have to develop anything. He can just hero power and pass his turn, not commit anything to this board, and still be in a great position to win.
All right, so trying to think here. All right, so for Creep, well, there's Ice Barrier. I don't think Ice Barrier is a out here though. Is it? Is like Ice
Let's see. If
Barrier,
he ice barriers and sets up the mirror image,
and sets up the Doomsayer.
he's still gonna be dead.
Oh yeah, because he doesn't have to swing into anything. He just has to Mortal Strike. Yeah, I forgot about the Mortal Strike in Delcover's hand. So he may be trying to make him think he has the combo here. He is, but
Oh, he can use Molten Reflection to get another 0/2 taunt. It still doesn't matter, but
right, yeah, it's like because the Mortal Strike is in hand. He doesn't even have to swing any creatures into Creep to get through this. So
he's better off just pinging off this Corcoran. It does the same thing as Molten Reflection, really.
Well, I say he can Molten Reflection and ping off if you would like.
That's true, but then he wouldn't have been able to develop the barrier.
No. So if Delcover knows what it is, which he does, he's going to Mortal Strike, and this will be the game. So Delcover will win the match and will secure the championship for Kawasaki Ninja's rule. So,
wow. Well, congratulations to Kawasaki Ninja's rule. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong.
So, all right. So, with that, we are done with the first match. Now we are going to play out the other two matches here. That we have. So our next match is actually Imposition and Yellow Dart. We're going to try to get this set up here. I will say for that last match, I'm glad to see somebody bring Exodia Mage to this. And at least win a game with it. So.
Hey, and he did in spectacular fashion.
He did. He really did. So, but yeah, no. Congratulations, KNR. And then, let's see. We do have bans for the next match, so let's go ahead and talk about the next match really quickly. Imposition of, I believe that's KNR's team, bringing Mage, Paladin, Rogue, Shaman versus Yellow Dart's Druid, Paladin, Shaman, Warrior. We do have the bans, and the bans are Imposition ban the Warrior, Yellow Dart ban the Shaman. So,
yeah, so we see another Shaman ban. And that, I guess that meant for Creep, I wanted to say that meant that Creep had brought aggro, but he didn't. It meant that he brought Quest Mage. So I don't think we can make the same assumptions about Yellow Dart, even though it would be pretty easily to make an aggro lineup with aggro Druid, Murloc Paladin, and Token Shaman.
I would say, and for Imposition, I can understand the Warrior ban because he did bring Rogue, and Rogue Warrior is a horrendous matchup for the Rogue. So assuming that the Rogue was going to be left up, the Warrior does seem reasonable here. And since Imposition did bring Rogue, I wouldn't be surprised to see Druid, Paladin, and Shaman all be aggro decks here to counter that Rogue deck. But again, that's more, Conquest. This is last hero standing. So
right. I mean, if Yellow Dart had done that and just gone with an all-aggro lineup, he could have gotten punished by Imposition, bringing an anti-aggro Mage and Control Paladin. Definitely one of the layers of complexity to the last hero standing format. You can't really just target one deck because your opponent can just win with their other two.
All right, so let's see. I'm looking to see. It looks like they're both still preparing to battle a friend here.
Yeah, so this match is going to get started. Yeah, probably
just a moment
or so.
All right, so do you think that Darkhouse can pick this up? You think with Imposition bringing that Rogue deck?
It's hard to say. I know Imposition is one of those players who likes to bring off meta decks, so this might not even be a deck like Quest Rogue that's really weak to aggro. It might be something like Tempo Rogue, and Tempo Rogue matches up a lot better against aggro than the other decks in this class usually do. So yeah, we'll have to see. Definitely a lot of options for both players here.
All right. So I haven't seen them actually go in yet. So let's see. Sorry, get messages. Almost. There's like,
all right.
Looks like they're about to go in. So, all right. So while we're waiting, let's do a quick preview of match 3 as well.
I think they're in right now.
Oh, they just got in.
I think they're just getting in. So
okay, excellent.
It'll just be a couple seconds before we can spectate them. So it looks like this is going to be a Paladin mirror for game 1. We've got Yellow Dart on Murloc Paladin and in position on what appears to be a Control Paladin.
Yeah, it's like we see the Gluttonous Ooze there, and we see the Equality. So yeah, I would say this is probably, at the very least, it's mid-range, but probably more likely a control deck, given what Delcaver brought as well.
Yeah, I mean, just judging by the Gluttonous Ooze, it's a card that's not really run in a mid-range Paladin deck. And we see the Doomsayer and the Lay on Hands come into hand for in position. Lay on Hands is a card that hasn't seen play for a long time. A lot of people would rather run Rag Lightlord just to get that 8/8 body and the guaranteed. Well, I suppose Lay on Hands does give guaranteed heal, and it also gives card advantage. But an interesting choice.
A very interesting choice here. So Yellow Dart's going to start off with the Vilephen Inquisitor, change its hero power and make it Murlocs instead of soldiers or humans. Then in position here, he's going to start a turn. I can't imagine how I actually coin out the Doomsayer here. I don't think you get a lot of value for that.
No, without any follow-up, I think it makes sense to just pass. Yellow Dart's running Hungry Crab in his deck, and that can, like, with the Murloc hero power now, he can get a lot of value out of that just by only eating one of his 1/1s.
Yes, it can. So, yeah, it would be very interesting to see. Yellow Dart just hero powered here. My guess is his thought that he will be able to both Grimscale Chum and Bluegill Warrior in the exact same turn here, but I don't think that would be enough to clear it off because it would move 3, 4. I think the best you can do is 5 here. So
yeah, Yellow Dart has no way to clear out this Doomsayer, so he's just going to have to pass the turn back to Doomsayer.
Yeah, just hero power, get an additional one.
You can get the hero power in here, and that's not a misplay anymore because of, I'm forgetting the name of the card now, but it's the 5-mana Paladin card that draws 2 cards, and it gets discounted based on the amount of minions that died the previous turn. Do you remember the name of that?
Didn't that rotate out? I thought that rotated out.
Yeah, no, it rotated out. I was saying it's like that would have been a misplay if this was wild, but it's standard, so he can't get punished by it.
Right. I forgot the name. I know Divine Favor, but that's the 3-mana draw till you match your opponent. Which I wouldn't be surprised if Yellow Dart. I wouldn't be surprised if Yellow Dart is running that. But
yeah, he seems to be really going all in on the Murlocs, even with the Hungry Crab to eat his own Murlocs. He's got a lot of options this turn. I think he just wants to go with maybe Chum first and then go Vilephen hero power.
Right, yeah, I think so. It's like, well, I guess it depends on what the Grimscale hits with his ability.
True, yeah, that could possibly change his play. He could. It's also nice to set up for Bluegill plus War Leader this turn, so I think he doesn't want to play either of those cards this turn. And he could Chum last if he wants to guarantee the buff on the War Leader or the Bluegill. But there's a lot of merit to holding the Chum too, because it just easily dies to this 1/1 token.
Right. So it looks like, it looks like here that Yellow Dart decided to play a second Vilephen, play hero power, and then just use the one last mana to eat it with the Hungry Crab. Give himself a 1-mana 3/4 here.
Yeah, I think that's probably the right play. Looking back on it, as the game progresses, the Hungry Crab is only going to get worse. So may as well get that 3/4 out when it's going to do the most impact.
Now, looking at Imposition's hand, he has the Equality here. I do not see what the Equality goes with, which is either the why is that name escaping me right now? This is not the name.
Consecrator Wild Pyromancer?
Wild Pyromancer, thank you. I'll say, well, here's the interesting thing is after next turn, Wild Pyromancer doesn't work anymore because of the buff from Murloc War Leader. So,
yeah. Those aura buffs can be really difficult to deal with. I think End Position just wants to just play the Aldor on the Hungry Crab here, just to get a body onto the board.
It looks like he's actually going Acolyte Paint. I actually think I like the Aldor play better because it can change that Hungry Crab into a 1/4, which is barely threatening.
Yeah, because now you just give your opponent the free trade on your Acolyte. I don't think it feels great.
And actually, he's going to go ahead and pump the.
Oh, wow. This is risky. He's going to leave this 1/1 on the board. That opens him up into a coin Spike Rig, possibly from In Position, which could have been backbreaking.
I would say, and on top of that, In Position, that with the draw from Acolyte of Pain, he does pick up the Wild Pyromancer here now. So, but the equality actually here, I don't know if I like using. Wait, did he do that in wrong order, or am I missing something here?
Well, he can use the coin, and this way he'll keep a 3/1 Pyromancer on the board. I'm not even sure if that's worth it, though. I mean, like, the 3/1 isn't doing that much, and you could have saved the coin for a later turn.
I'm about to say, and now your opponent can definitely clear this alpha, I think, with, just use the Grimscale Chum, and if it hits Bluegill or Murloc War Leader, that's about the best you could hope for. And it hits the Murloc War Leader.
Yeah, but I mean, there is a lot to be said for leaving that 3/1 up. I think he's definitely deduced that Yellow Dart is running a pretty aggressive version of Murloc Paladin, and Yellow Dart doesn't have any Consecrate in hand to easily just ping off this War Leader, so he's just going to have to play minions into it.
All right, so it looks like he's just going to Hero Power here and leave 3 mana up. So, yeah, I'm not 100% certain on that, because then it sort of makes your next turn a little awkward, I think.
Yeah, it's definitely, it's sort of a passive play. It doesn't feel great. In Position can Stonehill and pick up a second Stonehill, which I think he wants to play out here as well. Just accumulate a bunch of taunts, why not? Let's take the third
Stonehill. Why not? Go for it.
Soggoth is probably the better pick here, but I mean...
Probably, yeah. And he's
triple Stonehill for the memes, come on.
So the question is, for In Position, is he going to... I can't imagine he'll trade the Wild Pyro. Actually, he is. He's going to trade the Wild Pyro into that, so...
I think it makes a lot of sense just playing around Spike Rig Steed. In Position is just so far ahead that he can afford to play around everything, really.
Now, for Yellow Dart this turn, he actually has a... Oh, wait, I think you probably want a Grimscale Chum first here, because you can do all this in one turn.
Well, no, I think Yellow Dart wants to guarantee that the buff hits the War Leader, because he doesn't need any additional attack on the Bluegill to deal with this Stonehill defender.
You're correct. Yeah, that was the better way to do that, is make sure that it actually will hit the Murloc War Leader here.
Right. And now In Position, if he wants to, he can True Silver to take out this Murloc War Leader. He would have to trade his Stonehill in too, but the Stonehill can survive if he just Aldors first.
Or actually, if he Outdoors first, then what does he have enough to? Yeah, he has enough to do this both. So he needs to Outdoor this thing down. Okay, he is going to Outdoor the Murloc War Leader down, and so. Well, actually, he's actually thinking about going into the Grimscale here. Interesting, because
wow, so he's clearing off the Murlocs that aren't the War Leader on the board, and now his Stonehill dies. I'm not sure if that's better. I guess it's one less Murloc for Megasaur to hit, but that Murloc War Leader is just such a priority target. I think you just kill it off when you have the chance.
It is. It's like, and Yellow Dart's just gonna kind of push the advantage a little more here. I think play the Tyrian Forging. And we'll just go face with the Murloc War Leader. Well, he can't Sunkeeper Tarim, and that will allow him to clear the Tyrian this turn.
Yeah, but it also turns the War Leader back into a 3/3 after he had Aldored it last turn.
So, actually, is he just going to leave it up as is right now?
I think he can. It's really weird that In Position is playing the Doomsayer on a board that he's not that far behind on, but I think it makes a lot of sense, because if it goes off, he can just play Soggoth the Slither on an empty board, and that alone should win him a game.
True. Now, if Yellow Dart plays his own Sunkeeper here, he can clear it.
Will he be? Oh yeah, he will be able to hero power Sunkeeper and clear the Doomsayer off. I guess he could Stonehill Sunkeeper if he really wants to, but I'd rather get the value out of hero power if I'm Yellow Dart here.
I think so too. It's like, yeah, if you do the hero power, then yeah, because then it'll get buffed by the Murloc Warrior that's still there.
Yep, he can run his Tyrion, the Tarim, and then keep his War Leader alive.
Actually,
the War Leader dies off anyways.
So, but he can keep the Tyrion alive at this point. So, looking at imposition in his hand, he can clear the Sunkeeper Tarim if he desires, which it looks like he is going to do with his face and the 3/3. And this is a turn he can still play Sogoth the Slither if he would like on an empty board, or on a not an empty board, but a relatively empty board.
I mean, the Sogoth is like it's pretty easy for Yellow Dart to deal with this 5/9 body because he has access to the Ashbringer. But I don't think Imposition cares about that because he can just eat it up with the Gluttonous Ooze.
Correct. Well, there's a Dirty Rat and a Wicker Flame Burn Bristle of his own.
Oh wow.
I mean, it's got to be Wicker Flame, right?
I don't. This is tough. I think there's a lot of merit to all of the picks. If he Dirty Rats and pulls out the Gluttonous Ooze, he would. That
would be huge.
That would be that would be amazing for him. The Mastodon is just the most value overall. It's a big body that he can hope his opponent doesn't have an answer to. I think I can see the merit to all of those options there.
And he's looking like he may want to go ahead and play the Finja as well here. He does have mana left over to do this, so.
Oh, and he's just going to pass. He's not going to kill off that Sogoth here. That's interesting.
Interesting. Yeah. Very interesting on why he would not go ahead and do that. I guess, unless he has to read that Imposition is holding the Gluttonous Ooze. That's the only reason why I could think he would not want to do this, but.
Right. Or maybe he wants to guarantee that a minion will stick around for his Finja to possibly kill. But yeah, I mean, this doesn't even play around Gluttonous Ooze. In fact, it's even worse because you don't even get to
do the first
one attack with it. Yeah, so I mean, a huge swing for Imposition here, denying that Ashbringer value with the Ooze, and I guess he can just play out Wicker Flame and Hero Power. I don't think there are any great Aldor targets right now. He's still pretty far ahead on the board.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, it's like. Oh, actually, he's thinking about he can't Forbidden Healing Sogoth, so I guess he's healing himself back up to 28.
Huh. I don't know how much that was better than just getting the minion on the board with Wicker Flame, but I guess it's fine. He has the mana to do it. 10 heal isn't too shabby.
Well, he has a second opportunity for another Wicker Flame. I think this one's probably a little bit easier because you're not. Oh, actually, he's going to take Twin Emperor here.
Again, Twin Emperor is the most stats that he can get out of any taunt. So I think Yellow Dart is very committed. He doesn't want to use any tricks to try to kill his opponent. He's just going to put a bunch of stats down and hope that Imposition can't deal with them. He thinks that's the only way that he's going to win this game.
Well, now Yellow Dart's going to have a pretty easy clear there with the Finja. It's going to pull out. It looks like he's going to pull a Murloc War Leader at least, and a Cold Light Seer. And then
not bad.
Honestly, not bad at all. No, and he can finish clearing up the board, and then Tidal Hand, get a 2-mana 3/2 on the board. Now, as of right now, Primordial Drake clears this up pretty decently.
Yeah, you can kill off the Finja, and you can't completely kill off the War Leader, but it still does a lot against the board. I think the Drake just comes down there every time. Seems fine.
All right, so with the Cold Light Seer and the weapon, he can get through this Primordial Drake here and keep his Murloc War Leader around just a little bit longer.
Yep. Now, I wonder if Yellow Dart wants to Hero Power and play as Twin Emperor here. I think it makes a lot of sense to get the value out of Hero Power while you have the War Leader on the board already.
Agreed.
And he also wants to bait out some sort of hard removal on the Twin Emperor first before he plays out his 6/10 Giant Mastodon.
I'm going to say, and I don't think that he really doesn't. for imposition, he doesn't really have to. If he wants to, he can Wicker Flame and Spike Ridge Steed here. Make it a 4/8 life linking. Well, not life link. Sorry, it's not magic. 4/8 that gains life and makes a 2/6 taunt when it dies.
Yeah, Wicker Flame Spike Ridge. Generally, Spike Ridge is a card that you want to use when the minion can attack that turn, but just setting up that huge wall seems pretty tempting here. And honestly, like all of his other options are really slow. He can't afford to play Lay on Hands here. Stonehill isn't bad. He could get a Tarim here, but Tarim is really bad against this board. Maybe
it is
3-mana 4/5.
Yeah, I think I like the secondary bruiser here because then it will. Yeah, it is 3 mana, and it still allows you enough mana to do something else this turn if you would like. If you want to make the oh, actually, no, he's just going to do the
Interesting.
I think it would. If you're going to go that route, I think the Wicker Flame Burn Bristle is probably still the better option. But
I think I agree with that. I guess he doesn't really need the heal off of Wicker Flame because he's at 29 health already. But still, I mean, you can get the Divine Shield with it. It also just has more attack.
Yeah, because right now,
this 3/10 is still going to be difficult for Yellow Dart to get through.
Oh, it is. It's like, I mean, it looks like right now that the quote-unquote cleanest answer would be like the 4/6, the 3/2, the 1/1, Consecration, and then that doesn't even clear it. So
yeah, I really like playing out the Giant Mastodon here. I think Yellow Dart has recognized that he can't really play around in a quality clear from his opponent, so he's just going to get this out here.
Now that
Imposition's running Hungry Crab.
It's like, well, now that his opponent's hero power is Murloc, this is probably a good time to hold on to that for at least a turn or two until you get another Murloc out. Now,
absolutely.
It's like, now, my question is there any argument to Sunkeeper Tarim before and just kill the... Oh, okay, I see what he's going to do. He's going to do them both at the same time. So
this makes sense because you also get a Divine Shield on your 3/3. It's pretty strong.
Yeah. Now, the Blessing of Kings would just mean that this is a pretty clean board wipe here. You can get Blessing of Kings to... Well, actually, no, not a complete board wipe. Probably... I would think the Wicker Flame Burn Bristle would probably be the one thing left up here.
Let's see. Oh, no. Well, he can clear off the board completely. He just doesn't have that much left himself.
All right. So, yeah, he's in Consecration, and that will allow for the board clear now.
I just want to point out, both of these teams really came to play with tech choices in this series.
Yeah, they did.
Crab from both players, Eater of Secrets from both players. We saw the Eater of Secrets and the Black Knight and Mind Control tech in the last series. Really shows you how these teams prepared for this matchup.
Well, this seems like a okay. Actually, he's gonna use Outdoor Peacekeeper, and then he will get the value off the Hungry Crab to eat that. And so, yeah, his board's looking pretty good now. Cold Light's here, and not much to do with it. I mean, you can make a 1/3.
Yeah, and I mean, if Yellow Dart is running cards like Cold Light Seer, he's not going to be running anything like Equality, and I'm sure his deck just tops out at Tyrion, so it's really hard for Yellow Dart to put together the damage.
Infested Tauren. So, are we looking at a N'Zoth?
Yeah, he must be running N'Zoth. Yeah.
It's like we haven't seen it yet, but yeah, I think it's a pretty safe assumption that something is there.
So this is another thing like we were talking about last series. I think Imposition is going to want to hold on to that Tauren and not reveal the information that he's running N'Zoth because he doesn't need the Tauren to win this game. He's so far ahead.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, he can play the Tyrion or he can play the... well, probably Tyrion would be the better option here, but...
Yeah, Tyrion or Lightlord would both be essentially game-winning for him at this point.
I'm surprised Yellow Dart did not play out the Repentance there. Oh, actually, he's going to go ahead and reveal it.
Okay, so he's giving his opponent the information that he's N'Zoth. I'm not sure if I agree with that because Imposition doesn't have any way to lose the game.
Yeah, and that was a mistake.
Yeah, he says, I think he realizes it.
All right, so for Yellow Dart, he's going to Gentle Megasaur here try to... I mean, I guess the Living Spores isn't terrible, but you've already played your Sunkeeper Tarim. So, I mean, you're not getting a whole lot of value out of that.
Yeah, I mean, it gives Yellow Dart a little bit more board presence, but that's not really going to do anything for him, especially when he knows his opponent is running this off now.
So for imposition here, he can get the N'Zoth value this turn if he would like. He could put both his creatures into the... But honestly, with the Tyrion in hand, I think you play the Tyrion before you play the N'Zoth.
Yeah, he has no reason to play N'Zoth here. He can just play Tyrion, win the game. We were talking about Divine Favor earlier. Yellow Dart never drew Divine Favor this game.
No, he did not.
He could just not be running it in his deck, but it's usually seen in these aggressive Murloc lists.
All right, so for imposition here, he does, or for Yellow Dart, he is going to play the Murloc Tricolor. He'll be able to use Hero Power, make it 2/2, and then he's not trading most of his board, but Yellow Dart is running out of things to do here.
Yeah, I wonder if he just goes ahead and plays out the Eater of Secrets for tempo.
Possibly. It's like now, actually, imposition did draw the Consecration, so this is a clean board clear all the way across.
Not? Just take the full board clear, drop the Pyromancer for tempo,
and actually playing around their penance as well. So it's going to push 6 here or 7 here. Spiker Steed. Now he can do Eater of Secret Spiker Steed, and that would make a 4/10.
That would let him survive another turn, sure.
Yeah, not a bad.
Imposition does have the equality though.
He does. So yeah, this is all.
Oh no, but he can't equality because then he just clears off. I mean, he can equality, but it clears off his entire board. I guess that doesn't really matter, right? Just equality, Tyrion, and you still can't lose.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else he could potentially do here. It's like,
okay, he can sack it in first. That way, his 4/1.
There we go.
Or his 4 attack and 2 attack minions are gonna stick.
Well, they are, but
so he can completely clear the board now
and drop the Tyrion on an empty board. This should be about it here. True Silver Champion does not help.
Yep, there's no lethal for imposition next turn, but he still just really can't lose the game. No, so Yellow Dart is just gonna concede.
All right, so imposition will win game number 1 here with his N'Zoth Control Paladin. All right, so you didn't see N'Zoth here, but you can make the pretty safe assumption after the Infested Tauren and Karn Bloodhoof that this is N'Zoth Paladin. So your Druid is gone. Your that was the sorry, looking in the wrong order here. All right, so your Warrior's banned. Your Paladin just lost. You're left with Druid and Shaman. If the Druid is Jade Druid, I'm assuming you go in with the Jade Druid next, correct? I guess to control that?
Yeah, I would assume if that's what Yellow Dart's running, he wants to go for it.
All right, so let's see. All right, and it does look like Jade Druid. We have Jade Behemoth and Jade Blossom here, as well as a Wrath. So
yeah, so he is going to be on the Jade Druid. I think Yellow Dart just keeps the Jade Blossom here, and he does.
All right, so yeah, of course, yeah, the Jade Blossom will be good to coin out next turn. Now this turn he can play the Jade Aloe, get the Jades rolling. Interestingly, I just noticed he has Mark of the Lotus here. So I've heard of some aggro token or aggro Jade Druid variants, but yeah, having a Mark of the Lotus in here is pretty interesting.
So he must be running Wild Pyromancer and Acolyte of Pain as well. I think that's the list that runs Mark of the Lotus. It's pretty interesting. I don't think it'll do him a lot of favors in this particular matchup, but he should still be, comfortably favored.
All right, so for imposition here, he does have the option to drop Wicker Flame Burn Bristle. Interestingly, he could also drop the Doomsayer here and just... I mean, it's not going to prevent him from going with the Jade Blossom and mana ramping again, but...
yeah, he'll just develop the 3-drop, and then Yellow Dart Just why not ramp? You're not really being pressured that much by the Paladin here, so you can ramp up and maybe get off a good Gadgeton in the next turn or two.
Yeah, it's like actually next turn he can Gadgeton Coin and Jade Idol or Mark the Lotus if he wants. But well, yep, as you mentioned, there's the Wild Pyromancer here.
Wow. So the Wild Pyromancer could do a decent job here. Well, it could clear off the Divine Shield, but I guess it doesn't do that much. I wonder if Yellow Dart ever wants to play Gadgeton and draw two cards.
Actually, if he does Gadget or Wild Pyro Coin Swipe, that will clear the board.
Will it clear?
No, sorry, no, sorry. You had the 2/2 left. Sorry, I forgot the Infested Thorn 2/2. It will mostly clear the board.
Yeah, I don't think Yellow Dart wants to Gadget here, even though it's tempting to just take the 2 cards. The Gadget would immediately die on board. And like I said, he's not being pressured too much by the Paladin right now, so I think he can wait to get some better value.
All right, so for imposition here, he does draw the Hydrologist, so he could try to go for a secret here. As it looks like Getaway Kodo will be the option for me, I think. Or he's going to go with the Repentance.
Wow, I think Getaway Kodo or Noble Sack would both have been good picks. But the Repentance, well, I guess it would let him deal with the Primordial Drake or Gadgeton easier. So Correct. It sort of makes sense. So, yeah, I agree with Yellow Dart. I think this is the turn that you can play the Wild Pyromancer.
Now, interestingly enough, just with that Repentance, he's only going to get a one-shot deal here with the with the swipe. So he will not be able to clear this board completely. He'll be close.
That's true, but I wonder if Yellow Dart ever intended to play any more spells. I think he really wants to save that coin for Gadgeton.
I think he does too, yeah. Theoretically, he could have coined Hero Power and cleared out the 2/1, but yeah, when you have a Gadgeton Auctioneer in your hand, the coin is much more valuable.
Right, and in position, just unfortunate hand here. He has his N'Zoth, and he has a bunch of board clears, but nothing to actually get him on the board. Really, the only thing he can do here is Hero Power and pass. I don't think it makes any sense to play the Doomsayer out when you don't have good follow-up for next turn.
And I don't think this is the turn you want to outdoor with nothing on the battlefield, especially since more Jades are coming. So,
right, this Gadgeton turn is going to be huge. Yellow Dart will be able to draw at least 4 cards.
All right, so
what do you start with here?
I start with the Jade Idol.
Yeah, I might have started with the Jade Idol too.
Is like, and he draws an Innervate, so there's even more now. He could potentially Innervate Swipe. Well,
he can even just Hero Power down the 2/1 here, and then draw 2 more cards. He's gonna swipe instead. Oh, I don't know if that's right.
No, I don't think
he could have drawn so much more.
Yeah, I mean the only good news in all of this is the only way that Imposition has a way to clear it right now is Wild Pyro Equality. That's his it's his only clear at the moment. So, do you want to, when you're dealing with Jades, do you really want to Wild Pyro Equality one thing? I don't think you do.
And yeah, this is such a tough position for Imposition to be in here. He can Aldor and say that his opponent just has a handful of minions and save the equality combo, or he can make this play and say that maybe his opponent just has a handful of spells. And that's actually, he makes the right read there, because that is what Yellow Dart's hand is right now. And with this Doomsayer coming down, Yellow Dart's going to be forced to pass his turn, I think.
Yeah, I think you just Hero Power, hit face, pass, and I would say, unfortunately, I think there's only been, he's still a few turns away from being able to do anything. Yeah.
Right.
Now, Stonehill Defender is actually a pretty decent pickup here, so he will be able to get something.
Could have gotten a Tyrion there. These are some of the worst options possible. Torn Warrior is actually the best pick for in position there.
And that's sad. That's just really sad that that's your best pick. But so for Yellow Dart here, he does have Jade Behemoth here, so he can pump his Jades up a little bit more if he would like. But at the same time, I could also see this is just going to be a turn where, even Gadget Zan, Innervate,
Gadgetzin will draw him a bunch of cards.
It will.
I guess he wants to try to be a little bit more ahead on the board before he plays Gadgetzin. But
okay, so it looks like he's also going to do this here. Is he's going to go ahead and Wild Growth. He's not going to use it yet. He'll wait for the Gadgetzin turn next turn to use that and draw 2 cards off of it.
Yep. Yeah, makes a lot of sense. It's something that we saw Delcaver do in the last game. Definitely something accomplished Jade Druid players know what to do. Just use the 2 mana before their Gadgetzin turn so they can draw a lot more cards. Honestly, it's looking like Yellow Dart is going to be able to draw his entire deck just with this hand.
Yeah, it really looks like it. It's like his deck is 14 cards right now. Yeah, he could easily go through his entire
14.
Deck here.
He can draw at least 6 cards this turn, if I'm counting this correctly. And he still has another Innervate he can pick up, right? Or no, that's his second one, isn't it?
I think you want an excess mana first before you do any of this, right? Okay.
No, I like shuffling in first because it gives him a greater chance to draw those 1-mana Jade Idols.
Okay, true. Very true.
So now he'll excess mana, and I think now you Innervate. Just do everything that is free first.
Actually, it looks like he's wanting to go ahead and do Jade Idol number 2. He's just going to shuffle.
Is he shuffling it? Oh, I don't think I agree with that.
No, I think you play that one out.
I would play that one, and then over the course of the turns, it's extremely likely that Yellow Dart would have drawn into another Jade Idol, and he could have shuffled that one that he drew possibly.
I say, well,
and now he's just running out of time. He needs to play this Innervate here. Innervate isn't getting any better.
Yeah, he needs to clear that 2/3 before it enrages. So, yeah, he does need to play that Innervate now.
I don't understand. What are you saving Innervate and Earth and Scales for?
I mean,
that's your second Gadgetzin.
Yeah, that's it. You don't have another one. You need to lay everything out right there. And now, thanks to this quality, he's going to get Imposition is going to be able to clear this board pretty easily and probably have a 3/1 left over when all is said and done.
Yeah, I mean, one of the main ways one of Jade Druid's major win conditions against this deck is just being able to cycle through infinite Jades. But Yellow Dart won't be able to do that. He is 14 cards out from getting to the bottom of his deck, and his Jades are only at 3/3s right now. This is not where he wants to be.
Yeah, no, it is not. He can Aya and Jade Idol here to get 5/3, 3/3, and a 4/4. It looks like he may wants to probably cycle Wrath on the 3/1.
Okay, so he plays Aya and then draws.
Yeah, it should have been the other way first there.
Eater of Secrets, man, this guy just loves his Eater of Secrets.
So, all right. So for imposition here, well, there's a Hunger Crab, but there's not a Murloc to be found.
Probably the worst draw in Imposition's deck right now, just a vanilla one too. He does have the N'Zoth. I think he's going to try to wait until he draws Tyrion to play it now. I'm not sure if N'Zoth is going to be game-winning enough, just bringing back the Cairn, the Mistress, and the Infested Tauren.
Yeah, I don't think it would be enough yet. Now, the thing I'm actually looking at right now, I think, is trade in the Karn Bloodhoof into Aya, and then Outdoor Peacekeeper, whatever comes out of it, would be an option.
Yeah, definitely something he can do, and it's not too bad to just kill off your Cairn here, just to make sure, to ensure that it's dead for N'Zoth, because you still get the 4/5 from the Death Rattle. So yeah. I think I like trading in and then Aldoring here.
Oh, actually,
or he can just N'Zoth. Wow.
Yeah, he's going to N'Zoth right now. That's not a lot of value for an N'Zoth.
And it's not a lot of value, but it's still a board that's really hard for the Jade Druid to deal with. We don't see a Primordial Drake in Yellow Dart's hand right now. I wonder if he's ever forced to Yogg this board.
This might be a Yogg. I don't have a spell count on him yet. Let's see. So it's 2, 3,
yeah, I have no idea.
5, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14. So,
I mean, he has had 2 Gadgetins. I would imagine he's playing quite a bit of spells.
Yeah, I think he might be up pretty high right now.
And even if he wants to, before he can play Yogg, he can play 2 Jade Idols, innervate 1 out. Okay, he'll just go for it here.
Yeah. Well, Flame
And
Strike
he
here
gets
was
the Flame Strike immediately. Wow.
Nice. Where's this? Okay, that's not the worst. Kona Cold. That's all right. That's pretty good.
So I think this will be a 13 spell Yogg if we've counted this correctly. That is, of course, unless of course Yogg kills itself.
Oh my goodness! What a Yogg!
Oh my god!
Oh my goodness! Mind Blast.
What? And the Siphon.
And Lava Burst. Where's his Lava Burst going? Oh, not to his own face. Oh boy, that's an issue. Oh, he didn't get a chance to swing with
he missed out on 8 damage. I don't think it matters, honestly, though, because the in position's win condition is gone. He doesn't have a second N'Zoth in his deck.
No, he does not. So yeah, I don't see how in position actually gets out of this, because now it's going to come the circus of unending Jade Idols, and yeah, he's just gonna get a lot of value. I think this is gonna be over very quickly from this point here.
Yeah, I mean, even if in position top decks a Tyrion or Rag Lightlord, it's just not gonna be enough. Yellow Dart has more than enough Jades in his deck to just completely flood the board, and in position's out of cards.
Why shuffle again? Okay, he does have a second Jade Idol in hand, but I mean, he's up to 7 of his 13 cards right now are Jade Idols.
Oh wow. Yeah, that's true. So if he nourishes here, he can probably play down 2 or 3 Jade Idols, most likely.
There's a Wild Pyro, and there's Fandral.
Just not draw any of them. Okay.
Draw any of them, yeah.
I think it was likely he did at least 1 now. I'm not sure what he goes for here.
Yeah, I'm not certain. It's like, because the border across the field is not that threatening.
I feel like Yellow Dart could have had a much stronger turn here, honestly.
I think so. And now he's going to be able to Spike Ridge Steed. The question is, what do you Spike Ridge Steed? I like the card draw. So
yeah, on the Acolyte every time here. Consecrate isn't the best card right now, but it's fine. This Acolyte will get in position several more cards.
Oh, and now he will draw us. Let's say, well, the good news is now if he Fandrals, he can use the Jade Idol as well, and he'll get the value off of both of them.
Yep, definitely seems like a strong play, Jade Idol. He could even get 7 heal if he wants to.
Yeah, he's gonna go ahead and iterate. I imagine this is Jade Idol and Earthen Scales to gain 7 life here.
Yep. Yeah.
And put 3 more into his deck. So that moves it up to a count of 9. So 9. Oh, actually, according to this, all 9 cards are actually Jade Idols. I don't know if that's completely accurate, but that's at least what my DAT tracker here is showing.
Wow.
At the moment.
So yeah, he does go for the Earthen Scales here, and how many equalities has in position played? I think he's played both of them.
He has.
So he really doesn't have any way to deal with this.
No,
he can clear off the Jade, but with Consecration, he might be able to clear the Fandral off. But I don't think you can afford a Consecration here. You just have to drop the Tyrion.
Yeah, so I think you have to, if you just drop that Consecration right now, I think you're going to have to trade in most of your board, and you're probably still going to leave your opponent with a 7-7 or a 7-5 at the very least.
Yep. So in position is going to draw first, of course. Picks up that Lay on Hands. I think that's just way too slow at this point. He could heal up his Acolyte of Pain, but yeah, I still like the Tyrion.
Yeah, I think the Tyrion is probably the best just value. Just get your 3/3 out there, and yeah, you don't really concept of leaving your opponent with a Fandral, but you have to have that weapon, and you have to. Oh, actually, it's gonna go ahead and Consecration right now. So, actually, with this route, he will be able to clear the Fandral. He'll have to put in.
Right. So yeah, I mean that's the advantage of the Consecrate route. It's just it feels so bad to not get the Tyrion on the board there, but at least this means that Yellow Dart will not get 2 additional mana from his Nourish.
And he will, for imposition, he'll get 1 more draw off of Acolyte of Pain, because he'll be able to put the Jade Golem into it. Oh, what is he doing?
I guess he can Pyromancer and clear off the 1/1s, but yeah, wait, you have to trade the 5/2 in first, right? I don't think I like giving your opponent another card.
Yeah, you do give your opponent 2 cards, but you do get to keep your board around too, though. It is like, so you're pushing 5 to the face right here.
I guess that's sort of true.
And you can Jade Idol if you would like to get an 8/8 right here.
Right, which makes a lot of sense.
But the problem is, now
kills off his Pyromancer though. I guess at least it doesn't matter for the rest of his minions. Being at 1 health is unlikely to matter unless Imposition has his own Wild Pyromancer.
But he does have the Consecration, so we'll clear out most of that. Is he actually going to be taking this to the chin?
I think he has to.
Yeah, he has to. Yeah. All right, so puts him at 14. Now, with the Nourish in hand, well, actually, there's a Wrath. So, okay, so not all his cards were. So he could Wrath first and then Nourish if he would like. Chances are he'll probably get 2 Jade Idols out of this.
Yeah, he should be able to put some pretty serious stats on the board this turn. I just like Nourishing, playing 2 Jade Idols.
Probably Nourish first, I think, here.
Yeah, I think you don't, no reason not to draw first, right?
Yeah, as far as I know, I can't think of. He's going to go ahead and play that first and then draw.
I mean, it most likely doesn't change his play. He's probably playing Jade Idol anyways.
Probably not. And he's probably, actually, so yeah, he'll get another Jade Idol out of this.
So Yellow Dart can just play out this 3rd one as well, right? He knows his opponent doesn't have equality.
Nope. All the equalities are gone. Is gone. And even right now, that Tyrion just looks almost silly compared to these Jade Golems here.
Yeah, now Yellow Dart doesn't have the Druid hero power, so it looks like he can't actually end the game this turn, but he can easily set up the 2-turn lethal.
Oh yeah,
and
absolutely.
Go ahead and Earthen Scales, heal for 13. Or heal for 12.
Yeah, 12 heal, I think, would be able to... That will pretty much put this game out of contention at this point. Oh, yeah, that's going to be 27. He even drew the Acolyte of Pain. Now, is there anything that punishes... He owns only 5 cards in deck, so yeah, there's nothing really that punishes this line of play.
Man, I swear, these Sunday night ticket games take so long.
Yeah, they do.
Maybe it's the format, but yeah, after going almost to fatigue, I mean, Sunkeeper Tarim is a good counter to Jades in theory, but there's no way that Inquisition can survive, I don't think. Unless, would Sunkeeper Tarim plus Forbidden Healing keep it in it?
Let's see. That would move him to... So it'd be 4 off of that, so it would move it to... Give him 8 lives, move him to 13. I mean, I think it keeps him alive, but it barely.
Yeah, so he is still technically alive, but you know the Jades are just going to keep coming from Yellow Dart.
Yeah. This turn he'll be a 12 and a 13 at least.
And I think Inquisition has used both of his Stonehill defenders.
I believe that is true.
So there isn't any chance for him to get another Tarim. And actually, he's used both of his Aldors too, right?
Actually, he's used both Outdoors. So from what I'm looking on my tracker here, I see he does have 1 Stonehill defender left that has not been played. So he could potentially get another Tyrion.
So I guess Inquisition is still in this game. Light Lord won't do it though. Yeah, he can heal for 8 with Lay on Hands or Light Lord, but neither of those are going to actually prevent lethal.
No, it is not.
Next turn.
So All right, yeah, he's going to take the honorable way out and just kill himself.
Honorable Sudoku.
Yep, and so Yellow Dart's going to win this one, tying the series up 1-1. Now, against this Jade Druid deck, Shaman's banned, Paladin's gone. Rogue or Mage? Here.
Rogue, I would say typically does extremely well. If it's a quest rogue, it's going to be something like 70% favored against Jade Druid, and Miracle Rogue is also very favored. So I think Imposition probably feels good about queuing up the rogue here.
All right, so let's see what he's going to queue up, and that is Quest Rogue. So
okay. So Quest Rogue from Imposition, yeah. Typically very favored from the rogue side, but it's definitely a winnable matchup for Yellow Dart.
I would say, and for Imposition, he does have, he actually has a really good third hand. He has one of his bouncers already in hand with Shadow Step.
Oh yeah,
and
Shadow Step is huge.
And picked up a second one with Youthful Brewmaster.
Wow. So Imposition just needs one more bounce effect to win this game, and okay, he could have played the Firefly out on turn 1 to get that 1-2. He's going to go with the quest instead, which I think is generally a mistake. But this means the Imposition does have the chance to complete the quest with Firefly instead of Flame Elemental. And, we said before that this is really unfavored for the Druid. This is one of the few ways that they win the game, just by innovating out something huge in the early game.
And J Behemoth's pretty good. It's four power on the board. Now, it catches nothing is actually going to stick here. And actually, if he wants to bounce to the Firefly, he can get 2 of his bounces in right now, because he can Shadow Step and then coin out the Youthful Brewmaster and then, or play it again for 0 mana. And then coin out Youthful Brewmaster to bounce it again. So he's already halfway to completing the quest right now.
Yeah, really huge turn for Imposition, and he doesn't have another bounce effect in hand right now, but it's pretty likely that he'll pick one up in the next couple of turns.
Oh, absolutely.
And he's going to go ahead and play this backstab out now to prevent his opponent from taking the trade with the Jade Behemoth. I think it's definitely correct.
Yeah, and it's and then he'll be able to actually use the 1/1 and then push 3 to the face. Well, it's not a bounce effect, but it is a freeze effect. So he can freeze the Glacial Shard. But considering bigger Jades are coming, is the 3/4 really your biggest concern at the moment?
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult for Imposition because he has no way to kill out this 3/4 off, but I think I can understand just saving this Glacial Shard because it would just easily die to the hero power. I think Imposition here, he can afford to take some face damage, just bide his time, wait until he draws into his another bounce effect, and then have a huge swing turn.
All right, so he's going to go ahead and hero power, and it looks like he does want to Glacial Shard this, which is fine, but I mean, Yellow Dart does have an easy kill on the 2/1 right now.
Yeah, so that is going to be Imposition's turn. Yellow Dart picks up the Acolyte. He can just hero power to clear off this Glacial Shard, but Acolyte might be better. I think prioritizing draw is really important for him in this position, but I guess he thinks differently.
I said, well, next turn he will be able to draw with Acolyte Pain and Earthen Scales if he really desires. For Imposition, he does pick up the Bluefin Tide Hunter. It is well, technically it's a taunt, but when you're in the face of a Wild Pyromancer, it's sort of silly because they both have 1 toughness.
Yeah, so sort of a dead draw from Imposition. I think he just has to pass, honestly. I guess he can hit in with his dagger if he wants to. And he could play around Harrison here by not redaggering. That might be correct.
It's did we see Harrison game 1? We saw most of the cards.
Oh, actually, that's true. I guess we pretty much saw Yellow Dart's entire deck, right? Save for 1 or 2 cards at the end. So Imposition probably feels pretty safe in thinking his opponent doesn't have Harrison.
All right, so for Yellow Dart here, he does pick up the Nourish. Now, he can Nourish, I think, in this case, do you want to Nourish for mana? Or he's actually going to Nourish for cards?
I think he has some Nourish for cards. If he had something like a Primordial Drake to ramp up into, it might have made more sense to Nourish for mana. But I think he just wants some more options in hand. Having just the Gadgetzin and the Acolyte and Earthen Scales isn't really a hand that he can beat Questrogue with.
So Bluefin Tidehunter does come out, and again,
so I'm not sure about this because in position now, like this Biofilm is just going to easily die to any spell on Yellow Dart's end.
Now, admittedly, he did set it up so that it would also kill Yellow Dart's board as well here. So, unless he Earthen Scales the 3/1.
Right. So
or he also Earthen Scales the Wild Pyromancer himself, and then that make it a 4/2.
I wonder if there was merit for Yellow Dart to just play the Aya here. I mean, I guess it's tempting to take some draws, but he's really not putting on that much pressure here. Aya could have possibly threatened lethal, or at least close to it.
It could have. So, and now Yellow Dart's probably gonna hero. Oh, actually, he wants to draw again. So
I would assume he wants to hero power. I guess this Mark of the Lotus isn't bad. It gives him another card, and it does give him 5 power on the board.
So basically, it's saying answer this or you're dead. What Imposition did draw the answer.
Oh wow! But he continues to not pick up a bounce effect.
Correct. Yeah, he's running out of bouncers here. So now for Yellow Dart on this next turn, he does have the option to Wrath, or he can take 1 draw off of that and then Wrath the 2/1. Or he could just play Aya out too, because I don't think a 2-power thing is necessarily what you're afraid of at this moment.
Yeah, well, I mean, leaving any minion on the board is potentially scary because Yellow Dart knows that Imposition has the Firefly in hand and only needs 1 more bouncer to complete his quest. So that 2/1 could potentially be a 5/5 next turn if Imposition top decks a bounce effect. So he does just want to choose to clear it off here. And he can play the Fandral. This still sets up for lethal next turn with the Swipe and the Feral Rage in hand.
It does. And South Sea decking, now he does have a weapon, so he can clear out the Acolyte of Pain if he wants here. That is an additional draw.
There's no way for Imposition to prevent lethal, is there?
I don't see it. It's like, because he has both the Swipe and the Feral Rage here. So yeah, no, I think this is going to be lethal here. Yellow Dart will win this.
It's not every day you see a Jade Druid beat a Questrogue, but it can happen. Imposition looked to have an incredibly strong starting hand, but really just drew dead after that.
Yep, and Imposition is going to go ahead and give this up. So Yellow Dart wins game number 2. He's up 2-0 now, and Imposition is only left. Sorry, it's 2-1.
2-1, yeah.
It's 2-1. And Imposition is only left with the Mage now?
Yes, and Mage, if this is Burn Mage, it typically does poorly against Jade Druid. So, but then again, Yellow Dart just won a very unfavored matchup, so maybe Imposition can do the same.
This looks like Burn Mage with the presence of the Ice Barrier in hand. Or sorry, Burn Mage with the Ice Barrier in hand.
Yeah, it could be Burn Mage. Could also be Freeze Mage.
Could be Freeze Mage, yeah, because they do run Medee's Valet and the Primordial Glyph as well. What is he considering here in terms of? I mean, definitely the Valet goes back. You don't have something to do to cast it with yet.
Yeah, I don't think Imposition wants to keep anything in this hand. He really just needs to look for his Arcanologist, and if he's running Mana Worms, he wants to look for them as well.
Agreed. So, yeah, I think I agree. I think this is just a full send back.
Yeah, I would tend to agree as well. But I mean, Imposition, this is potentially the last game of the series, so I can't really fault him for taking a while to think through that mulligan. Just make sure everything's correct.
And unfortunately for him, he mulliganed his hand and got 3 worship. Well, okay, at least his first draw was an Arcanologist, but everything up to that point was just kind of rough And actually, I think this is Freeze Mage. As far as I know, current Freeze Mage does not run Blizzard, and it definitely doesn't run Doomsayer.
Yeah, there have been some builds popping up recently that are a hybrid between Freeze Mage and Burn Mage, and they'd be running cards like Blizzard and Frost Nova, but also Mana Worm and Firelance Portal. However, like you said, I think it's a pretty safe assumption that this is Freeze Mage from in position here. And honestly, this hand isn't all that bad. He does have the Alexstrasza, which is very necessary for in position to win this matchup.
All right, so for Yellow Dart, he is going to toss out the Acolyte of Pain here. Now, actually, in position just drew a nice answer to it in the Mediz Valet. That's a clean, just one shot.
Oh,
but
yeah.
he just want to probably just Primordial Glyph first to see what he draws.
Yep. Ooh, Arcane Intellect is really strong, I think.
It is, yeah. I think that is the pick.
Yeah, Flame Strike is tempting, but your in position just needs to cycle and kill Yellow Dart before he kills him. He really just wants to draw into his burn, draw into his freeze effects, and hopefully get that Alex off on turn 9 in a relatively good position.
All right, so for Yellow Dart, he does have the option to play the second Acolyte of Pain. He could play Eater of Secrets, but I don't think taking one of them at this point is... Only one secret is probably where you want to be with this. So
it's really interesting that Yellow Dart's running Eater of Secrets. I know that we've seen it in the past 2 games, but the matchup against Mage is usually very favored already. It's sort of an odd tech, I think. Maybe it's tech against Secret Mage, which is not as favored of a matchup.
All right, so it looks like Imposition is just going to take this turn to get some card advantage, draw a couple cards, and then just push face for 4 here. So
he is getting a lot of chip damage in with these 2 drops here. In position is in a he might not even need offensive Alex to win the game right now.
He may not. No, he's pretty close. He might be able to defensive Alex if need be. And right now, if Yellow Dart gains any life back, it's going to be based off of armor, and that doesn't even help anyway. Right. Alexstrasza does not break armor, so
sort of a awkward position for in position here. If he wants to, he could go for the Frost Nova Doomsayer. Anything else is going to give the Acolyte at least 1 draw. At face value, this looks like a nice Blizzard turn, but I don't know if in position wants to give Yellow Dart more draws and more chances to draw his healing cards.
No, I think this is pretty clear. So he has his own Acolyte here, but yeah, Frost Nova Doomsayer would prevent the draw.
Yeah, so. It would also clear off both of his 2 drops as well. I would lean towards the Frost Nova Doomsayer, but I'm honestly not sure what the correct play is here. So if he plays the Acolyte, okay, now he opens himself up into getting overdrawn.
I think he can draw he's going to get the second Ice Block here. Yeah, that's...
Yeah. So, in position, he could put his own Acolyte, his 1/1 Jade Golem, or his Hero Power, or all 3 of those into his opponent's Acolyte if he wanted to deny a draw. But he'd rather just develop his own board and play out this Jade Behemoth.
Yeah, and that way he in position will only get 1 draw of it since he used the Jade Behemoth to clear it. Okay, so I mean, with this board now, well, you do have a 1/1 on the other side, so I could make the argument say this may be your best Blizzard turn now, but you can't Doomsayer this turn if you do that. So
yeah, I don't know. It still might be right to just Blizzard. Looks like in position is going with the Glyph instead. Frostbolt is additional burn. Polymorph could take out some big Jades in the late game, I guess. I think I'd lean towards the Frostbolt though.
I think so. It was you're already getting down to 23. And you have Archmage Antonidas in hand, so you'll be able to, burn him out pretty quickly and get a 0 mana Frostbolt. Then you get a 4/4. This is his normal Frostbolt.
Yeah. So now in position, he can Blizzard Doomsayer next turn. It's very likely that it'll go off, and he can then play Alexstrasza on an empty board on turn 9. So I think it makes a lot of sense for him to hold off on that combo.
Because you might be able to get a Fandral or a Gadgetzan Auctioneer or something else.
Yep.
Or another Jade Golem.
And Yellow Dart just has really just a clogged hand. He has a bunch of great cards like Nourish and Gadgets and Auctioneer, but he can't really afford to play them. His hand is so full already. He really just needs some solid minions to get down onto the board. And right now, that's just Fandral. Luckily, he can combo it with the Wrath to get some value.
Or he could play both Jade Idols and he'll get a 3/3 and a 4/4.
Yeah, he could definitely extend his own board as well. Or he can just Wrath and play one Jade Idol.
Yeah, this seems reasonable. All right, he's going to shuffle and get a 3/3 out of this. And just push one to the face.
And in position, now he can Blizzard Doomsayer. And I really think it's important that he uses the Blizzard rather than the Frost Nova in conjunction with the Doomsayer, because that will save Frost Nova for Archmage Antonidas plus Frost Nova plus the 0-mana Frostbolt on turn 10. So he has a really nice curve lined up here.
He does. So, yeah, we should see the Blizzard come out to do this, and the...
Yeah, and
I'm going to say, and if this Doomsayer goes off, he can play Alex. I mean, it's only for 8, but he can put his opponent down to 15 on the very next turn.
And it's still an 8/8 on an empty board.
Right.
We can see that Yellow Dart has both copies of Earth and Scales in his hands right now, but what are his Jades at? They're coming into 4/4s next turn. He won't be able to get much heal at all off of this Earth and Scales, so I don't know if it'll be enough.
All right, so in position is going to Blizzard. I would assume the Doomsayer is coming out next. Actually, he's going to use the free... Oh, I wouldn't use the free Frostbolt. He's going to use the free Frostbolt here.
So wait, Frostbolt ping? Oh, I don't understand this at all. Why isn't he using the Doomsayer?
Yeah, it's like... And then trade in his own board, so... Yeah, because now you miss out on a Fireball.
Yeah, I guess he just wants to completely kill off the Auctioneer. Maybe he's afraid of the Auctioneer getting too much value, because it was possible if he left the Fandral up that Yellow Dart could have maybe played double Feral Rage or Feral Rage plus the second Wrath and been able to clear the Doomsayer off. But I think that's just a risk that you have to take in this matchup.
Now, interestingly, for Yellow Dart, he shuffled again. Now, we've seen this the second time that he has shuffled his first two Jade Idols. Even though, he got a shuffle already off of the Fandral. It's like,
yeah, I don't understand that at all. Like Yellow Dart, I think we saw it 2 games ago where he just shuffled the first 2 Jade Idols, but getting that board presence is really important. Maybe he just forgot that the first one got shuffled.
And he's gonna shuffle more, so actually this is 3 shuffles in a row.
What? I don't get it, honestly.
I don't either. It's like it does seem like turn to... You could honestly probably cast both of them, considering you already shuffled one.
Yeah, of course. I mean, and honestly, getting infinite Jades is something that Yellow Dart doesn't have to worry about for a long time. That's that's like really far off into the future once he's already stabilized and has gotten enough heals to prevent himself from dying to Bryn.
All right, so for in position, he's going to play Alexstrasza and set Yellow Dart to 15 and require an immediate answer for Alexstrasza. Yellow Dart does have it. Actually has a couple of different ways. Could double swipe. That would give him 2 draws.
Double swipe would have cleared the Gagson off, and he could have healed for 5 with Earth and Scales. He's going to opt for Aya instead, and this lets him get in 2 Earth and Scales, but it will mean that he gets hit in the face for 8.
Right, and depending on what's in hand, it might just be straight lethal. But, I mean, well, I guess it's probably back at 28. So.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's no way that he realistically dies this turn, but it's probably a 2-turn lethal. However, Yellow Dart has the Eater of Secrets in hand. He might just be setting up to kill his opponent next turn if in position ignores Yellow Dart's board, which from Yellow Dart's perspective is something that's very possible. However, I think we're going to see the Archmage Antonidas plus the Frost Nova this turn.
I think, there's the Archmage, and there is the Frost Nova. And we'll see 8 going to the... Well, we're assuming we're going to see 8 to the face.
I think it has to, right?
Can you leave up the Gadget and Auctioneer for another turn? That's
true. You've seen I don't know though. You've seen 2 Earthen Scales already. Your opponent has 9 Jade Idols that have been shuffled into their decks, so the likelihood of him drawing a Feral Rage is not that likely.
No, it is not.
But I can understand trading the gadgets in 2. It's definitely very threatening.
I said, does it change his clock any if he does kill the gadget's hand? Well, it will because he has a swipe, and so he can just swipe once and clear it.
Yeah, a pretty tough decision for sure. Looks like Imposition is leaning towards kill. Okay.
Oh, he's going face.
And here's the thing. Now Yellow Dart is forced to choose. He can't kill off both of these minions at once. He can play double swipe, but that will only clear one of them. So the Antonidas is definitely more threatening because it threatens to give Imposition threatening or infinite fireball. Sorry, but he's still going to take 8 damage to the face next turn.
All right.
Yellow Dart. Oh no, he can't. He has to innervate there. So now he has no chance of drawing Feral Rage. So he's guaranteed to lose next turn. If he had innervated first, he possibly could have picked up a Feral Rage.
Oh, and he did get it. Oh,
wow.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Although, actually, wait, no, I'm sorry. He's not always dead next turn. I thought that Imposition had gotten 2 fireballs from Antonidas, but he only has 1. Imposition doesn't quite have the damage in hand to kill Yellow Dart yet.
If he gets the second fireball, or if he gets one of the, actually that fireball is off of Archmage. If he gets his own fireball, I think it might be okay. Well, now that's interesting. Let's see. So that's 6, 9, 17. He's still short. But
yeah,
but you're holding Pyroblast and you have protection of, well, you think you have the protection of Ice Block. Now, of course, we know Yellow Dart is holding the Eater of Secrets here.
Yep. So I think Imposition is just going to Blizzard and play the Fireball. So this will be another turn where he is safe from Eater of Secrets. And he keeps that Alex Straza alive, too. Is Frostbolt ping better?
I mean, I don't think it matters either way. It still sets up for the Pyroblast next turn.
I guess there isn't too much difference between the two, but
I'd say, and the Feral Rage, I mean, if he has Feral Rage, he's going to gain 8. So that'll bring him back up to 17.
Yeah, this Feral Rage alone won't save Yellow Dart. If he can draw into the second one in his deck, it's possible, though. So it is really important now that he summons Jade Golems and does not dilute his deck further by shuffling.
No. Yeah, these have all got to be summons here.
He still has several more draws to the Feral Rage.
He can summon 3 more now. Of course, his board can't handle 3 more, but he may still just have to do it to
just to get the draw.
Just to try to get to that Feral Rage.
Yep. I guess if he wanted to... Well, wait, no. He should have played Wild... Or maybe he is planning to Wild Growth, because Wild Growth gives him a lot more additional draws. Wait, is he just guaranteed to get the Feral Rage at this point?
He's close, I think. It's like, that's Innervate. That's Mark of the Lotus.
Oh, yeah. I think he is, unless he runs out of time.
That alone is not going to save him. He needs to...
What?
It's like...
Oh, he could have done it. He could have played the Wild Growth. I don't think he was absolutely guaranteed to, but it was possible.
I'm going to say, that's going to be lethal. Imposition is going to just Pyroblast that. Well, yeah, please don't Pyroblast that. Pyroblast the face. And then, all right, so with that, Imposition will win game number 4. And this is going to the last match again. With Imposition with Freeze Mage against the Shaman
from Yellow Dart. So now 2 back-to-back matches where the huge underdog has taken it. I would say that Freeze Mage is going to be favored against any kind of Shaman, but hey, as we've seen, anything can happen.
What about the Muzzy Shaman that's running the 2 wind speak or water speakers and spirit echoes and stuff like that?
Honestly, I still think that Freeze Mage is favored, just because it's so hard for that Spirit Echo Shaman deck to put on enough pressure. I would say it's a lot closer, though, than the standard token Shaman.
I think if this is Token Shaman, I don't see a way that. Well, of course, I would have said that the last 2 matches too. So ignore that. But
yeah, I don't know. It's just Freeze Mage is just generally one of those difficult matchups for Shaman, just because Shaman is one of the classes that heavily relies on board presence to finish its opponent off. A lot of decks run Bloodlust as their finisher, and they need the board to do that. But Freeze Mage is very good at denying its opponent the board just by stalling with cards like Blizzard and Frost Nova and getting good clears in with Doomsayer.
Absolutely. So, let's see.
All right. So it looks like Imposition is taking a short minute break right here. So it'll be another minute or so before we get into the final game. I think I definitely need a break after that match. Freeze Mage is one of the I would say personally it's one of the most difficult decks to play in the game right now. So it's very mentally taxing to have to play one of those unfavored matches through and come out with the win.
All right, so I guess do we want to talk about game number 3 and what potentially could be going on with that? Because we do have something here that this might be our last game of the night. I'm not 100% certain.
Yeah, so we were hoping to get Scales and Chaotic on after this game finished up, but unfortunately, I think that that is not going to be streamed.
All right, so we're getting back into the game here, and let's see. Looking at Yellow Dart's hand here, well, we see patches, so this is Token. And on top of that, Imposition is actually holding the Volcanic Potion in hand right now. So if
he's running Volcanic Potion and Freeze Mage?
Yeah, it's he's got 1 Volcanic Potion in hand right now. And he may have just done it just solely for this matchup, because I mean this is this matchup where Volcanic Potion can do a number, especially if you have Blood Mage Thalamus in your deck as well.
Yeah, very possible. Yellow Dart keeps the Flame Tongue on his side, and I really like this against a deck like Freeze Mage. Flame Tongue really forces out that immediate answer, and if Imposition doesn't have the Frostbolt or Medivh Valet, it will just continue to do a lot of work in terms of pushing damage.
All right. And actually, it looks like Imposition decided to keep his hand, even the Medivh Valet. Well, he is holding the Ice Barrier here, so he does have something to do with that. And thankfully, Imposition does have the answer for the Flame Tongue Totem with the Frostbolt that he just picked up.
Yeah, Frostbolt's a great card to hand. This is just a pretty solid anti-aggro hand that Imposition has right now. I don't think he wants to play anything this turn.
Not yet, no.
But yeah, Doomsayer can be very strong on turn 2. Volcanic Potion, as you said, was probably put in here just for this specific matchup. It does a lot against Token Shaman.
All right, so Yellow Dart's just going to Hero Power Pass. I think this is a good board if you're going to Doomsayer. This is probably the turn you want to do it.
Yeah, I think it's fine. Doomsayer, just play the Ice Barrier on an empty board next turn. The only way it gets removed is
Hex.
Devolve, right?
Oh, Devolve. Yes, Devolve. The Devolve would do it as well. Anything else would not work. So it looks like Yellow Dart is going to just Hero Power and push face. Which is fine here because one that will set up his thing from blows later on. And Imposition is just going to play the Ice Barrier here. Oh,
yeah,
there's
seems
Devolve.
Pretty fun.
Yeah, Devolve 1 card too late, unfortunately, for Blood Mage.
Yeah, and Devolve in this matchup, I guess it really only is going to be good against the Doomsayer. Devolving Alex Straza isn't going to do that much. I guess it's a okay answer to Archmage Antonidas in a pinch, though.
It is, yeah. It's like, I mean, just if you need to get rid of it, you get something worse. Oh, there's the Doppelgangster. So this is the Evolve package to go along with it. And he does have a clear on the board here if he wants to use the Maelstrom Portal as well. Which, again, in this matchup, Maelstrom Portal is not going to get a whole lot of value. So
Yep, yeah, exactly. This is the best it's going to get. So I don't fault Yellow Dart for taking this play. I think he wants to go ahead and play out the Flame Elemental here as well. Unfortunately, that means that Imposition can have a full clear with Volcanic Potion ping if he wants to. But I wonder if he ever wants to just ping and pass here, because, 2 damage is nothing, really.
No, it's really not. Yeah.
Yeah, I think passing is completely fine. He can let Yellow Dart maybe commit the Flame Tongue to the board, commit some more minions to the board, and then still get the clear with Volcanic Potion.
Right. It's like,
so I really like passing.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, I think the only minions in this deck that you're really concerned that it won't touch is Doppelgangster after it's evolved. Is like that's about the only things where
Thing from below. Would also survive Volcanic Potion, but if that were played, he could easily Volcanic Potion and use the Frostbolt. So Yellow Dart does draw the thing from below, and he does play it out, which I think is correct. But Imposition is going to have the easy clear if he wants to. Yeah,
it's like, he'll be able to clear this. Well, I have to use the coin to completely clear it, but he can. All right, looks like he's actually thinking about dropping that Acolyte of Pain right now. Is he just going to ping his own Acolyte to...
Wow. This is a little bit greedy from Imposition, but he can probably afford to take the damage, right? Oh, I think he's going to Frostbolt out as well. Okay, this makes sense.
All right, so he's going to Frostbolt, and that means Yellow Dart can give him another card with the Jade Claws if he wants.
Yes. I would lean towards just devolving to deny your opponent a card, though.
Yeah, that would be
we said, the devolve is just not going to be good in this matchup at all, except for a possible Antonidas answer. So if you have 2 of them, just why not play it out?
Oh, interesting. It was like, okay, so actually he's just going to use the claws. He'll give him an additional draw here, but okay, with this turn now, this is now a full clear with the Volcanic Potion and the ping on the Valfin Inquisitor.
Yep, absolutely. So, and Imposition can even get a board lead while he does it by developing the Arcanologist.
Yes, he can. And he'll probably pull one of the... actually, Ice Bearer. Interesting enough, he has not drawn his Ice Block yet.
Yeah, it's a pretty important card to have. Speaking of Ice Block, Yellow Dart draws the answer in hand with the Eater of Secrets. This man just loves that card.
Apparently, it's been in every single one of his decks so far, correct?
I believe it has. So he was really, really looking to not let that mage pass.
All right, so for Imposition, he's just going to draw a couple cards here. He's also going to play the Acolyte. I wouldn't be surprised to see a ping on his own Acolyte here. Actually, what is he looking at card-wise?
And if he pings his own Acolyte, then he'll overdraw if Yellow Dart hits in, right?
Yes, that's correct, yes. So he cannot ping his own Acolyte here.
I think that Imposition didn't realize that before he played the Acolyte. I think if he had known how many cards he had in hand, he would have just gone with Ice Barrier and Glyph maybe. So now he doesn't want to ping. Maybe he just plays the Glyph.
Yeah, Glyph seems reasonable here, so that way you're not potentially overdrawing your deck, overdrawing your hand.
Right. It's also important to point out how much damage Imposition has in hand right now. He has the Pyroblast and the 2 Fireballs and the Frostbolt, which he's going to throw at his opponent's face right now. Over 2 turns, Imposition will be, he'll be 2 damage off of lethal. So Imposition can very easily end the game over the next couple turns if he just picks up a little bit more burn. And Yellow Dart isn't really in a position to threaten to kill him yet.
I would say, and also interestingly enough, he does have the Primordial Glyph, so he could get another burn spell on the cheap.
Yeah, absolutely.
That as well. So
Antonidas comes in. He can't play it this turn though. I think you just Blizzard here and then Archmage plus Frost.
I think that's
the following turn.
Yeah, I think that seems very reasonable. Yeah, next turn you do that. Now, I mean, theoretically, I guess you could run the Primordial Glyph train, but you probably don't want to do that.
It's not horrible because he can still Blizzard this way. I guess he could Frost Nova too. He has 2 of them in his hand, so it's not horrible.
So Frost Nova, and he's going to go ahead and Fireball now with 2 mana and ping. So that put it down to 17. So that means the burn in hand over 2 turns will kill Yellow Dart if Yellow Dart cannot gain life.
That's true. Yeah, the only life gain that is available to Yellow Dart, assuming he doesn't have some, crazy heal teched in, it would be Hot Springs Guardian off of Stonehill Defender. So in position over these next couple turns, he can just go Frost Nova, Fireball, Ping, and then Pyroblast next turn.
Oh.
I don't know if I like the Archmage, though. He had a very clear path to victory. Just with
did.
Frost Nova, Fireball, Ping.
This is giving an additional draw here. And now he can devolve with the Archmage.
So by using that Frost Nova, he can go Blizzard Fireball, but he won't be able to do that and then win the game with Pyroblast the next turn. He'll be 1 damage off.
Actually, I think he would. It's like if he Blizzards here, it will kill the taunt.
Well, now he can, because Yellow Dart wasn't able to deal with the 9/7. So I guess it's just I mean, he's taking 1 more turn to kill his opponent in this way,
Right.
but it's still pretty much guaranteed lethal.
All right, so Blizzard is coming out first. I can imagine the 9/7 is going to face as this Fireball is as well. And even now, I think all outs are
Yeah, no,
I don't think there's no outs here.
There's no way for Yellow Dart to win. He can Doppel Evolve and see if he gets a random 6-drop that will save him, but I don't think there's anything.
I don't think there is either. It's like, because with the Pyroblast in hand or the Fireball, or, well, pretty much take your pick. All right, so let's see what the Evolve has here. Well, he does get a taunt, but again, it doesn't really help that much. Interesting, he did get a Gadgetzan Auctioneer also. But yeah, this is going to be lethal. The Fireball to the face will finish this out, and in position will win this match. So that is 4 of the 5 match wins for Kawasaki Ninja's rule.
Yeah,
in this lineup. So
really huge. And Kawasaki Ninja's rule, we already knew that they had the series won and that they were champions, but just in case, in position may not have known that. I wouldn't be surprised if he went into that match not realizing that Delcaver had already won the first one. So
correct.
From his position, he definitely could have been playing for the win.
Correct. So, but yeah, so I think this is going to be our last match for the evening. I am not 100% certain on this. But
yeah, no, I think it is going to be.
It's the last
we were
match.
hoping to get Scales and Chaotic, but I think it was too late for Scales, and he knew his team had already won, so he decided to just not play. So unfortunate that we couldn't get this last match of the final stream. But SHL Season 3 does have a champion, and that champion is Kawasaki Ninja's rule. So congratulations to them on this win. Yeah, really good. And actually, just if you look at the overall score, amount of points scored on the season, I believe there was only one team that was even tied with them on points in the season, and that's given that the last week they were what's the word I'm looking for? Memeing a little bit. So yeah, it was 111 points. So the Dark House also had 111 points. So it was good to see the top 2 teams points wise were the 2 teams to make it to the finals. But Kawasaki Ninja's rule is going to be our Season 3 champion. So congratulations to them. Yeah, really impressive season. Nice to see a team bounce back like that. I think they last season in SHL they lost in the finals to Pocahontas in Space, but they were able to return to the finals this year and actually take it all. So yeah, huge props.
I'm about to say, and I think something we didn't really mention up front, but that both these teams have made the playoffs on all 3 seasons of SHL. So even from both these teams now, of course, Dark House formerly had a name. I think it was Enthalpy or Entropy. I'm not 100%.
Enthalpy, I believe. They were Entropy's SHL team.
So Enthalpy was the name before, but still they did make the the finals of SHL. So it'll be interesting to see kind of next year, where does it go? Does Black Lotus finally get to that final spot? Does Kawasaki come back? What about Piss? Piss had a rough season this year, so it'll be interesting to see. But tonight is K&R's night. They are the champions.
Yep. Thanks to everyone for watching these finals matches, and we will see y'all next season.